Yes, guys, welcome back to the Irish Hotspur with your boys David and Jack leading the team into glory once again. And I cannot wait for tonight's game at the Seagulls down on the south coast. It's definitely going to be an absolute Christmas cracker. I predict plenty of goals this evening. I hope you all have had a very good Christmas. Hopefully you're all alive and didn't overdo it and you're back with us this evening for the big one. But let's check in with Jack all the way down in Seattle and see how he's doing. Jack, great commitment today to the team today and to the watch along. My man, how are you keeping?
Doing well, Dave. And yes, lead us to glory, Dave. Lead us down south. Lead us to some seagull hunting. Seattle actually has some seagulls as well. So, I probably could do my own sort of hunting of some kind over here. We like to feed them, some chips, some kind of fries, and things like that, kind of on the pier and everything. But while they're doing that, Dave, I'll be shooting them down, getting ready for a big day against Brighton, Dave. Looking forward to it. Both teams don't really have, their best lineups available. So it's really up to the managers and up to the players to put in a performance today. We'll see how it goes. Looking forward to it, Dave. Lead us to glory down south.
Oh, no, I cannot wait, my man. I really cannot wait. It's going to be very, very exciting. Hopefully we can get the win today and keep our title outside shot of the title alive. But look, of course, we are joined by the one and only Dermotron. Dermo, how are you keeping, my man?
I am doing fine, sir. And as our great man who introduces all the boxing would say, let's get ready to rumble. There you go. For Tottenham tonight, we're going to win seagull pie. I have it in the oven. It's already cooking nicely. A little bit of mashed potato, bit of gravy with it. Then after the game, I'll sit down, have it, and watch West Ham do Barney the dinosaur, bounce all over the Gunner's gunner, and then we'll all be happy as Arsenal bottle it again. But great to be back, Dave. And Merry Christmas to everyone and Happy New Year. It's a time to be jolly. Woohoo!
Oh, it's great day to be alive, and hopefully Spurs can do our enthusiasm some justice this evening. But look, let's check in with the people out there and let's see who's in joining us over this Christmas holiday. By the way, we're going to play a little game called Spot the Difference. Have a look around at the 3 cameras and let me know if you can see anything a little bit different today. Put your guesses in the chat, please. But look, we welcome DJ Samuel become a new YouTube member. I think he was always one. I think he's just renewing it. Big up DJ Samuel, brother. Really do appreciate the support, my man. And hopefully you're keeping well. Hopefully you got a few nice Spurs things gifted to you for Christmas, being in and around Tottenham and all of that, my man. Big yourself up. Also, Terry Betts, come on, you Spurs. We can do it. Big up, Terry. Great to see you in the building. Daniela Z, we sure can, Terry. It'll be tough, though. I'm going 3-1. I feel like our attack will have too much for their defence. Interestingly enough, I think they're going for a record today without losing at home, but also they've conceded nearly every game at home this season. So it's definitely taken if we want to take it tonight. Warrior Without a Master, great name, says a tough one today. 2-1 for me. Yeah, look, some people are predicting a tight affair. You go back to previous games, they always sort of have been tight affairs. So let's wait and see what happens. Neil Shafton says, funny, I don't feel 60, even if it's just been a day. I feel more like 45, but not 60. Come on, you mother effing Spurs. Big up, Neil Shafton. Happy belated birthday to my man. So everybody, please wish him a happy belated birthday, Neil, and hopefully you had a great day. Hopefully you doubled up on the gifts as well. I don't like birthdays in around Christmas. You sort of tend to get left out in the gift department. So hopefully you got doubled up on with that, Neil. Also, big up Wembley 1. Wow, really appreciate the support, my man. Great to see you in. He's enthusiastic this evening, which we like to see. He's feeling our vibes. He says, afternoon, everyone. With Ange promising signings early in the transfer window, has he put himself on a collision course with the chairman, the Prince of Darkness, a.k.a. Daniel Levy? Look, interesting question. I actually had another question about the transfer window, but yours is better. So we're going to go with this Wembley 1. We'll start off with you on this one, Dermotron. Look, we know that chairmans, they don't really like their managers out in the press, sort of putting on demands on them in the transfer window, this, that, and the other. Is it one where Ange Postecoglou's maybe already sort of had that transfer talks and it's been agreed that they're going to go in certain areas and that's why he's out there talking? Because we were told a few weeks ago that the transfer plans were well underway. Or is it a case Ange is putting pressure on the board and saying, look, you've got to help me this January transfer window? Other managers have asked for it and didn't necessarily always get it.
Look, for what I'm hearing, the transfer window has been in place for a couple of weeks now. They have been behind the scenes doing what they've been doing. We're looking to get a few players in early. That is the plan. They're already starting to put bids in, starting talks open for what I'm hearing. So Ange will get what he wants this January window. He will be backed. Levy will not let this go without him being backed. There's an opportunity here. Levy knows it. The Tottenham board know it. Ange know it. We know it. So he will be backed. We will get at least 3 or 4 players in, I think, from what I'm hearing in the January transfer window. Looking at 3, we are looking at a centre-back, at least 2 centre-backs coming in and a midfielder. So that's what we're looking at. And then we're going to look at the striker in the summer because and he's got enough up front to get him over the rest of the season. I don't agree with that, but that's what he's saying. For what I'm hearing, 3 players in, maybe 4 in January. So I'm looking to get it done early as well.
There was something I read about an hour ago that Spurs were willing to trigger the release clause for Grassine and around 17 million. Any truth to that?
I'm just going to double check. I got a raking news in myself today. Just go to Jack and I'll get the latest what I've got up for you, Dave. So
no worries. Jack, do you think Ange has probably already had these discussions with the board and is only, sort of reiterating what he's sort of been promised? Or do you think he's maybe putting pressure on the board to do business this January? Because David Ornstein did say quite some time ago that there wouldn't be that much money around this January transfer window.
It could be a bit of both from Mr. Ange Postecoglou. Just quickly to Wembley. I mean, this is probably the first I've ever heard Levy be given this title, the Prince of Darkness. I absolutely love this one. I think Levy probably, maybe when he has like a, Dave, when you play like a bit of like, online, video games or something like that, like a username. I think that's what probably Levy might go for, as his username, the Prince of Darkness, whenever he's playing some Warcraft or something like that of any kind. But I feel like Ange just has to say what he said, because if he didn't say what he said, it sort of then excuses what could end up happening, like what's happened in previous windows, which is like he sort of put it out there, right? We take, forever, leave it till the end of the window. The guy only has so long to really, hit the ground running anyways. He doesn't get, a nice sort of period to train with his teammates, get to know the manager, get to know the club, the city, all that sort of thing. You just sort of have to just come into the team and hopefully hit the ground running, which is a lot to ask. And it doesn't usually happen all that often, usually with certain signings. And so it just seems unnecessary to leave it towards the very end of the window, especially when it comes to a signing that everybody knew we needed basically more than yesterday, Dave. What's more than yesterday? Like, like months and months and months and months ago.
Years ago.
Type of thing. It's like, tell me yesterday, that's when it should have happened. But it's years ago, like you say. And I think Ange just sort of had to do it to potentially avoid the mess and the drama that can come with these January transfer windows, and especially with the drama that the Prince of Darkness sometimes likes to create for us during these January transfer windows. I think a center back is definitely something that he just has to ask for straight away and has to ask for early. And I don't blame him at all, Wembley. Do I think that's going to cause any sort of rift or tension between him and Levy? I really doubt it. Like, I think he seems to probably have a sort of decent kind of one-on-one, type of transparent relationship with Daniel Levy. I think there is, probably more of an understanding between them than there might have been with Antonio Conte and others. But also Daniel Levy, as much as he's, sacked managers and, been very harsh towards them in terms of the funding and whatnot, I think he has, at least in the past, tried to have conversations with them, but it just ends up not really going in the right direction or in the right way. Whereas I think with Ange, he's a guy who can get through to Levy. He's a guy who can probably convince him that, listen, can't have it, do it your type of way with the Prince of Darkness type of tactics of transfers. We need to get this done early. I've been desperate for a center back. He's even had one of the best away records without any center backs this season. So please give the man a center back, Dave. He's earned his lollipops.
No, look, I think 100%. I mean, the guy deserves to be back fully. I think Daniel Levy will be making a rod off his own back if he doesn't back him. He's already used him, for that sort of fans forum and that fans meeting and everything else, sort of to gain a bit more maybe respect or popularity around the fan base than what he previously had. And Ange Postecoglou has shown that he's worthy to be back. No one expected us, to be sitting where we are right now. Currently 6 points off top. We win today. We reduced that. So, for me, the opportunity is there for Daniel Levy to find the resources from somewhere and back this guy. And not only that, the squad of players have proven that they also deserve the help coming in here as well. And one thing I would hope is that under the sort of the Ange Postecoglou signings in the summer and also our signings over recent years, I would hope that it maybe make Daniel Levy want to spend the money, knowing that we've had a lot more successes than what we have had sort of misses, which has been sort of contrary under other director of footballs like Steve Hitchen and like that, where we had a lot more misses. Also under Antonio Conte, despite some of the signings, did they come and step up to the fore the way some of Ange Postecoglou's has made a difference? Probably not. So I think, Ange Postecoglou has shown that he deserves that back, and through all the impacts that his signings have had on this team over the course of the summer. So I would hope that they find funds. What I will say is the way we operate with some of the way we structure deals where we sort of bring in now and pay later, and that also opens up the market for us in terms of being able to bring in extra bodies here that we may not necessarily have the cash for. We've done it with Kulu, Porro, Romero, people like that. So that also gives us the opportunity to bring people in. But for me, I just want us to be backed appropriately right down the spine of that team. We've been crying out for a centre-back for I don't know how long. It's come to the head now where there's no option but to go in and get that centre-back early doors. There's options out there. Dragonstein's agent is putting them around to clubs. John Tadebo's agents is putting them around to clubs and stuff like that. Lloyd Kelly's been rumoured for quite some time, same as Adarabeo. So there's an opportunity there for them to go in and get that centre-back, and it has to be addressed. Hojbjerg, I believe, wants out of this club. I believe he's already had that meeting.
I've got a latest on that, Dave. I've just been given the very late. Sorry.
One second. When it comes to Hojbjerg, I said a couple of weeks ago that the fact that Skip came on ahead of him in that game, and then also the fact that Skip started ahead of him in the last game, I said to you, Jack, I have a bad feeling I think Hojbjerg's gone, because I was under the illusion that he's had that conversation with Ange Postecoglou. Ange Postecoglou actually asked him to stay, but Hojbjerg has said that he wants out. He wants to go and play first-team football. So you will need to bring in a centre midfielder. And I would like to bring someone else in to compete with Richarlison as well, with Son going out to the Asian Games and him adapting to that left. Well, not adapting, just readjusting to that left-hand side and showing how crucial he is in terms of going at teams and breaking them down. I think we need someone else in here to compete with Richarlison. So right down the spine of that team would be ideal. Let's wait and see if it happens. Sorry, Dermo.
Sorry, on Hojbjerg, he has chosen. Well, this is why I've been given just the last 30 seconds, actually, where you were talking, Dave. That's what just dropped onto
fresh off the press, Dermot. Hot.
Hojbjerg has chosen Laura as his new agent and is pushing to leave Tottenham Hotspur, as you say, in the upcoming transfer window during the wanting, as you said, Dave, first in football. Spurs are demanding 25 million and a permanent deal, loan plus obligation, with Juventus now keen to sign his signature. Tottenham are also in for the Sporting centre-back, Gianluca Interco. He's going to be around 60 million.
Gonçalo Inacio.
Yeah. Sorry for murdering his name. Sorry, I apologise. But I'm not very good with foreign names, so I do apologise. But he's 60 million, so there could be a little bit of move there for the Go Levy. And also Gallagher. Tottenham are eyeing a 35 million move for him. Chelsea want 45 to 50, but there could be also room there for talks as well to bring that down. So they're the three sort of I've been given the last sort of minute or so that Tottenham are looking at. So look, we are going to get stuff early. I agree with you, Dave. We need now. Time has come. We have to get these centre backs in. We should have done it years ago, but we didn't. It's come to a head. I totally agree. Everything you said, I totally agree with. I can't add any more to that. We just got to get our deals done early, and once we do. We'll be fine. I think we're on a chance now to really. We've built the foundations. We have to build the house now, and I think we will do that. But yeah, there's a lot more. These are all rumors, of course. This is nothing confirmation. These are rumors. These are all that I get from person I use that I like to give to you guys, and I give to Dave as well once I get really good news. These are all rumors to unproven otherwise. But look, it looks very interesting that Tottenham will have a busy January transfer window.
What I will say is one of them will definitely be true. It's just trying to figure out what one. I know people don't like a lot of the names being linked, but it's actually worked out in our favor. You know, we know this. It's a tactic that Paratici has brought to this club. Put your feelings out to loads of different players, and it's sort of everyone else looks over here while we're operating over there, and all of a sudden we bring in a player where everyone goes, "How the fuck did you get him?" We've done it with Romero, Tommy Asu, people like that. We're linked constantly. Romero comes in. Who else did we do it with? Vicario. We used David Ray as a pawn. brought in Vicario under everyone's noses. We done it with Basuma. We put everyone's attention on Christian Eriksen. We ended up bringing in Basuma. So, you know, it's a known tactic that we do use. So I would say, I know people don't like it, but bear with it because it actually does work out in our favor. And what we avoid then in the process is bidding wars, which is why we're getting such value for our money in recent years in the transfer market. When you look at the fee paid for Vicario, there are other clubs sniffing around, but they weren't aware of what we were doing, that we were doing the business. And look at the fee we paid for him compared to what Brentford wanted for David Reyes. So it is a tactic that actually saves us money and helps us. So just bear with it. But Wembley won, my man. Big yourself up. What a way to kick off the show, brother. Really appreciate the talking point. Let us know your thoughts on the Prince of Darkness. What do you think he will do, my man? Big up Wembley one, though. Great super chat. Let's just flash welcome some people in, and then we will crack on and talk about today's game. So who have we got here? Let me make sure. Georgie Hill, big up to you, sir. Good to see you in the building. Faz Radfire, great to see you, sir. And hopefully you're keeping well. Always has to say we're his favourite channel, which I absolutely admire. Big up Martin Knightsbridge. Hopefully you all had a great day as well, my man. King Huddle is also with us. Good to see you, brother. Hennessy is with us. Great to see you, Hennessy. Hopefully you had a great time. Tekken, good to see you. Hopefully you're keeping well. Dragon These Nuts, great name. Good to see you. Spurs GCTV, big up and welcome, my man. Phil Coy's good to see you in the building, Del Boy. Hopefully you had a great Christmas period, sir. Colin Turner, good to see you, brother. Tequila 316, great to see you. Mark P, good to see you, sir, as well. Lee B, great to see you in the building and welcome. Who else have we got? Mark New, great to see you in the building, buddy. Hopefully you're keeping well, had a good Christmas. Derek Hutchinson, great to see you. I hope they left Ira at home too. Look, I don't think he starts now. I think it's Emerson. And we'll get into that though. Mick Hanscombe, great to see you in the building, sir. Sonny Talk Spurs is with us. Big up, Sonny. Hopefully you're keeping well,
good to see you, man.
If you're ever free for one of these, let me know, brother. We'll definitely get you on. Big up Grinny as well. Good to see you, Gary. Good to see you. I'm not gonna butcher your last name. I won't do that to you. It's such a fine name. Also, DJ Samuel says cheers, member for 14 months.
Come on.
Big up, DJ. Really appreciate that. Salute to you, my man. Great support for
man out in North London.
It made out of North London. Also, Bradley Thompson, good to have you back as well, my man. Look, it's going to be a tough ask, but we're here for the fight. That's what we do. We never stop, brother. Davey Hall, good to see you in the building. David H1960, good to see you in the building as well. Para Miguel Escoberto, hopefully you had a good Christmas, sir. Rooty Toot, good to see you, my man. Foggy Foam as well, good to see you in the building. Along with Georgie Caradas as well, good to see you from down under. Donovan Oosterreicher, great to see you, sir. Hopefully you had a great Christmas. Really appreciate that. Yeah, I haven't dropped the top size, so good of you to notice, but that is not the difference. People keep looking. See if you can find the difference. Big up Ian JD as well. Big boss, man. Good to see you. Mr. Arnott's in the building. Got the right day today. I put it up for yesterday until, I made an absolute cock up. But look, that's allowed. It's Christmas.
He was that excited for the game.
Too excited, Jack. I wanted it to come a day early. That was my Christmas wish. It never came. Shem Tan says, hey, Jack, Dave, and Dermotron, good day. We need a good performance and a 2-1 win. Good to see you in the building. Hopefully you're keeping well. Ian JD got a bad feeling. 3-1 Brighton. Any of you share the sentiments? Any of you have a bad feeling about today? Look, it's either way, right? Postecoglou did say, it's two teams that like to more or less play the same way. Dominate possession. They're both going to press. They both look to play sexy football. Look, it's a game that could go either way, and you have a bit of a bad feeling about this.
No, we're going to roll up there and smash them. We're going to roll up there and smash them. Seagull pie. It's in the oven already. I can taste it. I can taste the 3 points, and we're going to get enough to go third. Brighton? Who are Brighton? No one. We're Tottenham Hotspur. We beat anybody.
Brighton are going to press us high up the pitch, Ian, right? And we did struggle last time against Man City with Emerson and Ben Davies at center back. They did get caught out a few times, and also Ben Davies, in his last game where he wasn't even pressed as much as he has against other teams, actually was really shaky in the last game in possession. Ben Davies, he was giving the ball away a lot. And that's what Brighton want. They want to win the ball high up the pitch. They want to force you into making mistakes, and dispossessing. And if that happens today, where let's say Emerson and Davies are more sloppy on the ball than maybe usual, or more sloppy on the ball than they can, than they usually can be. Let's say they're just not having their best day in terms of in possession. I mean, that's sort of the recipe to win, I think, for Brighton, to be honest. That's how I would try to beat Spurs. I would try to put pressure on Emerson and Davies and see if you can force them into mistakes. Whereas other players in that team, they can hurt you. Like Destiny Udogie is a guy I wouldn't want to press. There are guys like, maybe Basuma coming into the team. Of course, he's not today, but I wouldn't want to press him. You look at Kulusevski, you don't want to press him. You don't want to press Porro. But Emerson and Davies, I would press them. And let's say they're not having their best day today when it comes to maybe being in possession and making the right decisions. That's where you could hurt us.
Especially, I'll add to that, especially if Ollie Skip is that the guy as tasked with progressing the ball, it's going to cause us huge problems, and Brighton will get a bit of joy out of that. So you're looking at Vicario being that guy that maybe looks beyond that midfield, can play into one of the forward areas, feet or chest. You're looking at getting the ball out wide to Porro, or we know he's got a big one. He'll have a massive game trying to progress that ball today. Or Adoji carrying that ball out down that left-hand side. Or Skip just coming to the party and showing everyone, look, I can play a bit of ball, but let's wait and see on that Ian JD. Big yourself up, my man. Really appreciate support. Let's continue with the flash through till we get to the bottom of the chat. Make sure we're not missing anything, and then we will crack on. Big up, Matt. See you, swell. Big up, Liam. Good to see you in the building, sir. Who else have we got here? Adrian Schrocker. Great to see you in the building, my man. Horn Dog. Great there. Good to see you in the building. Hopefully you're keeping well. Big up, Mungy32 as well. Good to see you back. Joshua, good to see you, my man. Shawnee Maddox is with us. Oi, Shawnee. Hopefully you're keeping well, Sean. Sir. Who else have we got? Andre Smith. Good to see you in the building, sir. Flat Cat Pete. Good to see you. Big up, my man. Hopefully you're keeping well. Make sure we're not missing anyone. I do think that Neil Shafton did guess correctly that it is the captain's armband. You're very well right on that one, my man.
Detective
Your boy's
Neil.
got the captain's armband. I'm going to lead us out to glory. Today I'm going to become captain of that team. I just feel like sometimes they need someone there to step up and scream and shout at them, just to sort of get their asses moving. So I said I'll take on that responsibility myself. No one wanted to nominate me, so I just said, look, I'll just do it myself. So, hopefully it comes to fruition. But yes, I am captain of the ship. Who else have we got here? Make sure we're not missing anyone. Chev's, good to see you. Big up Kev Williams as well. Great to see you in the building. LAC, Jamie Gate as well. Big up Ollie Freeman. Good to see you, sir. And hopefully you're keeping well, my man. Traveling on his way home. Driving home for Christmas. Great song. Big up, Ollie. Big up Gordon as well. Good to see you. Longy, Slim Boy Tubbs, the Oxymorons in the building. Sebastian, Ray Hill as well. Jacob Anderson. Good to see you, sir. Big up Brian OS as well. Good to see you. Andrew Seymour as well. But I think that's everybody. If not, it may well be, and we're going to skip to the bottom of the chat. Big up Welsh Gal as well. Buckminster Fuller as well. Joseph Tyler as well. Akash as well. Good to see you. Killian, Rain Man. And that's all we have time for. And now we're going to crack on. I think I'm missing something here. Someone gifted a membership. Dermatron gifted a membership. Dermatron, do you know who the successful recipient is?
I actually don't, Dave.
It says Bob Down Under is the recipient, which is a fabulous name. Big up to Bob Down Under, and big up to you, Dermatron. That's very kind of you, sir. Bob Down Under, please thank the Dermatron. You can also refer to him as the Prophetron, or the Predictor is Dave's title, and also he's the Capitan. But really do appreciate you, Dermatron, and Bob Down Under. Thank Dermot if you are listening to us in the chat.
No problem. It's my little gift to say, give back to the Irish Hotspur family. They've been so good to me. It's my little gift to say, look, there you go, guys. Have a drink on me. I know it's only $4.99, but it's a little something to say thank you.
Big up Bob Down Under. Great name as well. Hopefully, you're enjoying your summer. No, it's getting a little warm, for the people down under compared to where it's getting a little colder and darker here. So hopefully you're having a nice, maybe I think it's probably middle of the night or something, for this sort of game. But big up to you, Bob, and hopefully you're keeping well, sir.
Big up, Bob. And look, hopefully, when we get back to the fan shows in the new year, you come on and have a conversation with us, my man. It'd be great to get you on screen and have a conversation. Just quickly, there will be no fan show Monday because I believe it's New Year's Day, but we will be back with a fan show after that. So just stay tuned on that. I'll have dinner in my parents. So I would love to, as much as I'd love to speak to all your sexy faces, unfortunately, my mother needs me and my father needs me.
Your dad gets his own fan show with you. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. Your dad's going to get his own Spurs session.
They need the king of the eaters over there, so I'm making my way over to eat them out of house and home. We also have Jason Mills with us. Says, great conversation, guys. 3-0 win tonight. Let's go. Third, come on, you Spurs. Big up, Jason Mills. Really appreciate that. Look, Tank Wembley won. He kicked it off in style with that super chat. Great question, great talking point. And glad you enjoyed what we had to say as well, Jason. Let me know whereabouts you're tuning in from, Jason, in the chat there, brother. He's gone with 3-0, Jack. Do you see it happen? Look, no point of asking Dermot. Dermot believes we are. So I'll ask you, Jack. 3-0 win. Do you see it happening today? Is there a world that's going to happen?
Listen, I think Brighton, they will concede. I can't even recall a game in which they've had a clean sheet, maybe other than Europe. I think it's pretty much Europe that's where they've had clean sheets so far this season. And also, like Dave even said, I think at home, they've also been pretty consistent at conceding goals. It's just, how many do we get and how many can we grab against them? Because I do also see Brighton probably scoring at some stage. They do find a way to score. They usually have, a decent attack, even when it's not, their best lineup to pick from. They just have all these random sort of players that they bring back from loan, or, they have cooking, behind the scenes that are just ready to pop up as a new star. It's just endless, how many young rising talents they do have. So I don't really, or I always do rate their attack, and I always do rate that they can score goals. But of course, Spurs, I mean, this season, we've always scored first. We usually end up going, 1-0 up. Can we just take it to them and grab more, grab 2, 3? Let's hope so. But Jason, I'm going to go for, I think it could end up being where Spurs might only win by 1 goal. I think it might be a 1-goal difference in this sort of game. I could see it being a really entertaining game, but I'm not sure if we grab, 3, 4 or something like that. That would be pretty crazy. But I mean, I can't rule it out because Spurs as well. I mean, we have a very dangerous attack, a fit and firing Richie. Let's hope so, man. Let's hope so.
Look, hopefully that back line can hold out. What I will say is with the carrier behind anybody, there's always a chance of a clean sheet, and I'd absolutely love it. That would make it 7 for the season, my man. But look, hopefully Sonny wants to depart with a couple of gifts for us. That would be absolutely brilliant, which we will get onto and speak about as well. But big up, Jason Mills. Really appreciate the support, brother. Really does go a long way. Really appreciate it. Just quickly before we crack on, I'll tell everybody where they can watch the game. Hugo Lloris is now set to leave Spurs with discussions over switch to MLS side LAFC, understood to be in the final stages. And that is from Sami Mokbel in the Daily Mail. So everybody, as much as we needed to replace Lloris, and look, I know we spoke about a lot on this channel. I do feel we should have got that goalkeeper in sooner instead of tying him down to that contract. So I do feel for him a bit in that regard, that we kept him putting him out there despite the obvious decline in ability. But I would love him to go out with people maybe sharing their favourite memories of him rather than going out with a sort of tarnished memory. Because, look, he's done enough damage himself over the last year and a half with his performances walking out against Newcastle. Some would say he probably deserves it. But let me know Hugo Lloris's greatest save, because it does look like he is on his way out. And look, long overdue, should have been done a long time ago, which frees up $100,000 for someone else to come in this January. But please let me know your favorite Hugo Lloris moment. Now we're going to bring up a graphic and tell everybody everything they need to know. Of course, we do travel to the Amex Stadium down to the South Coast. I was there only a couple of years ago when Harry Kane scored and he kicked that Coke bottle. Famous celebration. It's actually a nice away trip, very close to the Brighton College campus, whatever you call it, Brighton University. Good parking facilities around there. Good experience in the stadium. Not too cold either. Well, actually, I did have a big fur jacket on, so I take that back. Maybe it was a little cold, but honestly, I nearly ran onto the pitch that night when Harry Kane scored. It was absolutely unbelievable. Kickoff is at 7:30 p.m., which I cannot wait for. Referee is Jared Gillette. Now, a bit on this little rat here. This is the same guy that booked the doji against Nottingham Forest for the shoulder challenge on Ryan Yates and got him that suspension, but also proceeded to let Ryan Yates call for bookings, which is a yellow card offence, never gave him a card, and allowed him to make 6 challenges and didn't book him till the 89th, or allowed him to commit 6 fouls and didn't book him till the 89th minute of that game. So I would say, in terms of in-game referee, he doesn't favour Tottenham Hotspur by the looks of it. So hopefully he's there to rectify that tonight. But let's wait and see. Despite him doing his best, we still beat Forest. So we'll wait and see what he tries to do tonight. When it comes to VAR, hopefully we're not singing the referee is a banker. It is Peter Bank in the VAR room. Hopefully he has 20/20 vision and understands what's going on and just doesn't call for things willy-nilly. Now, a bit of an awkward one to watch for everybody. As you can see, I have done a bit of digging. So in the UK and Ireland, I have found out you can watch the game on Premier Sports 1 if anybody has that package. I know us over in Ireland, if you get the BT or what's it now called, TNT, if you get that, you get Premier Sports.
Did they do the American voice for the TNT, Dave? Do they do like the Yanks voice for it? Okay.
Honestly, if I could do the sound of the guy that does the EA Sports, I'd definitely give it a check, Jack. Yeah, but
he puts you to sleep. Actually, the fella that does that. I mean, you put it on, it's like so boring. You want the American one, gives you a bit of, even if watching Tiddlywinks, watching American TV, it get me excited even for Tiddlywinks. I love the commentators over there; they're brilliant.
Sorry, Dave. I thought that was like a TNT, American, sort of impression you're doing there, which I really laughed at. I thought that was good. Sorry.
I was just mocking the name change. It that was BT TV now, but look, they could change it to what they want. I suppose they own it. You can also watch the game on Amazon Prime. Now, I know to Ireland or people in Ireland, that's not available to get the games on it. Maybe it is to the people in the UK. Not quite so sure, but there, plenty of people ask us all the time when the game's on, where can we get a link and all? We're no different to you guys. We just try and find what we can, but that's where it is being shown. Now, in the USA, I believe it is on the NBC SN network. A bit easier for you guys over there. Would that be correct, Jack?
Yeah, I do think it should be. Recently, it's been really nice actually to be home because now I actually have a TV with cable. I think my parents, are lucky enough and maybe old enough that they actually still pay for cable. So I've been able to just turn on the TV, just been able to rock up with the Premier League games and have them on the channels. And recently, what I can report back from kind of the cable land over in America is that yes, Dave, USA has been kind of the common one. I think in Seattle, it's channel 672. So there you are, everybody. But Dave has it spot on as always. He's done his research.
Oh, because they always say like either Peacock TV or USA Network. But as far as when I used to get dodgy streams, when I didn't, when I didn't have Sky Sports and that, it used to always be NBC. So I presume they're continuing on and people are backing me up on that. So absolutely spot on. In Australia, it's on Optus Sports as usual. And Canada, it's on Football TV. What great streaming platforms you guys have over there. We really do get taken advantage of over here. Now, let's move on to the injury list. So if you don't want to see it, either put your blindfolds on or look away or put me on mute. But Tottenham, Basuma, of course, out suspended. Won't be back till after AFCON, so forget about him for a while. Romero, the big one. No Rombom today, which is going to be a very sad occasion, by the way. No Rombom, that's upsetting. But at the end of the day, he's out for 4 to 5 weeks. Not ideal. Really, really not ideal. I do fear the worst. Let's wait and see what happens. Van de Ven, of course, out with his hamstring, but is slowly returning. Good to see him back on grass there a couple of weeks ago. Let's see how long it takes for him to get back. James Maddison, of course, out with the ankle. Bentancur out with his ankle. Sessegnon out with the hamstring. Just pay off his contract at this point. Solomon out with the meniscus and Perisic out with the ACL. For Brighton, Lamptey out with the tie. Ansu Fati's out as well. Veltman's out and Sisco's out. Solly March is out. Estupinian, Webster, and Matoma is supposedly rumoured out as well. So that's absolutely huge. So, yeah, their injury list is just as long as ours. So The game of injuries, absolutely brilliant. So that's everything you guys need to know. Now, before we crack into my magical bag of questions, which always come fully locked and loaded with great talking points, just take a couple more chats here. We've got Martin Knightsbridge says, is that my belated Xmas present behind Tron?
No,
he's talking about the jersey. He's talking about the kit.
The jersey. Ellie actually got this when I was in Tottenham last year with the lads. I am going to upgrade it when I go over this year, and I will get my new favourite player, which is Johnson now on the back of it. And Hojbjerg's been upgraded to Johnson now.
I'd just love to know the thought process on how Johnson managed to become.
Yeah, when did that happen? I feel like we're finding this out for the first time.
I mentioned it the other day, but I've been really impressed with him. Every time I see him, he excites me. Every time he gets on the ball, he just really gives me. I just think he's going to score. He's going to score. And that one against against Newcastle when he hit the underside of the bar, and it should have come. That was a great move, and he seems to be everywhere. I love Johnson. I think he's becoming my favourite. Of course, Hojbjerg will always be the Danish destroyer, but he is moving on. You can always look to the past. You have to look to the future. And like Dave, you move on, you mourn when they leave. These players leave. You have a mourning period for about a couple of weeks, and then you move on. So Johnson is now going to become my new favourite player.
Dermot likes the turbo speedy players by the looks of things. Turbotron, it seems to be the case.
I mean,
today,
it takes me back to Tony Galvin back in the day. I used to love him running up and down. And David Ginola as well. I went to a match with my ex-wife once. Took her to her first ever Tottenham game. And I said to her, you joined the game? And she was just following Ginola's legs all around the pitch. She went, no, I'm just seeing the legs. So I thought that was a waste of money buying you a ticket. That's why
You
I
can imagine Dermot's ultimate team full of 99 rated pace players, full of them.
Yeah.
But no, interesting to know how Dermot landed on Brennan Johnson. But unfortunately, Martin, it's not your Christmas present. But look, I did get chirpy. You know, it is a dream of mine to take his job at the stadium. It means I'll be there for every single home game. So I've got him into practice. Once I'm finished, you can have chirpy as a late Christmas present, Martin. But big yourself up, brother. As you can see, I've got the mascot, I've got the captain's armband, I've got the referee's kit. So I'm ready to step in at any minute's notice, anytime Tottenham need me, whether it's to referee a game, be captain, be mascot, it really doesn't matter. Your boy is ready. I've been known to be a very good water boy too, actually, on that front. Bob Down Under gifted 1 IrishHotspur membership, passing on the absolute niceties. Who's that gone to?
Let me see. It's gone to Liam, and Liam also as well has a little Irish flag as well next to him. So maybe there's a fellow Irish Spurs supporter that maybe we could have a chat with for the next fan show. Big up to you, Bob Down Under. That's very generous of you. Thanks for continuing on the trend of what Dermatron has started today. That's very kind. And Liam, Dave, it looks like that is an Irish flag next to his name. So maybe we could be chatting with an Irish Spurs fan sometime soon. Big up, Liam.
I think I know it's the guy that he's always in here. So Liam, it'd be good to get you on a fan show, my man, and hear what you have to say, brother. So big yourself up. Welcome to the community. Make sure you big up Bob from Down Under as well. Very nice of him to pass that on. Fair play to you, my man. It is the season of giving, so absolute nice thing to do. And then Jack, I believe you've gifted one as well.
Yeah, I thought I'd sort of continue the trend. It's sort of like you and your sort of Santa hat day for Spurs. I can see that a trend is arising here sort of in the chat. So I decided to get on it and sort of pass the love, share the love with everybody else. And I remember that happened in another stream where I ended up stealing one of somebody's sort of membership. So I'm trying to avoid that, make up for that once again. And I've gifted it to, let me see who I've actually gifted it to. Chow King or Chaos King. Sorry, Chaos King 223. Big up to you, sir. And yeah, another sort of good new username in the chat. And take advantage, please. Or simply just watch all the members videos and questions and polls and stuff that we put out there. All that good stuff. Plenty of things that do come with it. So just enjoy it. Big up to you, Chaos.
Big up. And then I'll also get the missus to throw one in as well. For somebody down there. It'd be absolutely brilliant. Get more of you guys onto these shows and have conversations with us. Big up, Liam, in there applauding and thanking. Big up. And then big up in a comma says, morning, guys. Going to be a fantastic game. 6:30 a.m. kickoff in Melbourne. Nurse and Eiley for you guys getting up. And then Dermo's gifted another one. He's gone crazy here. Dermo, have you gifted that one too, son?
I have no idea, sir.
Went to Neil.
Neil Shafton.
No, the other Neil. There's 2 Neils. Neil Army is slowly growing, I think, right now. Neil Army. So it's gone to the other Neil.
That's my piggy bank empty now. So I can't do
Make sure
now.
you say thank you to the Tron as well. Big up, Dermatron. Very, very nice thing of you to do. Tequila saying he's flush. He must have had a sneaky bet on Boxing Day or something on the football, my man.
I had a sneaky bet on the boxing, actually. I actually got a good win on the boxing. I got 3 of the predictions right in the boxing. So
nice.
Save your money for a Brennan Johnson bet, Dermot. Save your money for your favorite player to score.
I've already done that. I've put a $5 in if he starts today to score the first goal. So that's not going to happen. But
Speaking of first goal, what's Moondog? If Moondog's about, if he's in here or he's lurking around listening, Moondog, let us know who you've gone for. But look, let's crack into it, guys. Let's get into a good discussion on today's game. Tottenham R4 in the Premier League are coming into this game on the back of 3 consecutive victories. We will be full of confidence. How important, Jack, is it that we extend our impressive run of form against a sort of, I say, struggling Brighton team with a victory tonight, because they are on a bit of a patchy form at the minute.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, I just sort of noticed that despite that record that they're sort of going for at home that you mentioned, right? Like I think sort of in the last 6 or 7 games, they haven't exactly had the best of records, or they haven't even really been the same Brighton that they were last season. I think they've had some sort of kind of dips and spells that, maybe didn't come about as much last season. Last season, they were probably one of the most informed teams, one of the more feared teams actually around the Premier League. They pretty much were just taking head after head, scalp after scalp with the Zerbi, but they sort of cooled down, calmed down a bit this season. Could be because of some of the huge departures, in terms of McAllister, Caicedo, etc. But Dave, I think this is, an opportunity for Spurs to continue to climb up the table. We already have been climbing up the table quicker than I think I expected. And the fact that we're only so far behind, the top of the table is impressive considering, just the points that we did drop, the chaos that we've been under with all the injuries and everything like that. The lack of sympathy that we've even received as well for all those injuries and everything hasn't made it easy on us or on the players at all. There's been a lot of media attention, on players and just sort of Ange Postecoglou when we have dipped in form, and we've stayed together, we've stayed strong, and we've been persistent, or we persevered, through it. So I think there's a huge chance for us to grab, some more points and climb up the table. And it almost makes me a bit nervous because of that, because we have kind of quickly risen up the table, and it's happened sooner than I expected. And here's another great chance. I mean, we have to take advantage of some of these drop points from Aston Villa. You look at, as well, Man United, giving us that result just recently. Could be the case that maybe even West Ham and Arsenal might take some points off of each other. And also plenty of other teams that have struggled, over this Christmas period. We have to take advantage.
No, absolutely spot on. Absolutely spot on. Especially with Villa dropping points, the opportunity is there to sort of put a bit of pressure on them and see how they sort of react to it. Arsenal also playing tonight. Let's see how they deal with West Ham away. Hopefully Kudos can produce something magical there. So there's a real opportunity for us tonight to be able to maybe cement ourselves further in the title talk. I do think if we win tonight in Bournemouth, I do think it would be ramped up for sure, especially by the media. Big up, Gavin. Good to see you in the building. Look, hopefully you enjoy us over here at the Irish Hotspur. There's plenty of great channels around, so make sure you check them out. But hopefully you love us over here, my man. Big yourself up and welcome. Welsh Gal also says, very nice jumper, Jack. I'm only after having a deeper look when you put in a comment. There's a cockerel on that. Where'd you get that?
This one came from Santa Claus, Dave. He's left it under the tree for me, a nice Spurs jumper. And so I've been told Santa does have, a soft spot actually for the mighty Tottenham Hotspur. He likes a good classy club, Dave, and he likes a good kit. He likes a good, sort of Christmas garment. And I think Spurs in general, as you would know, Dave, we have some of the best sort of gear, some of the best sort of merch. I love the Spurs merch store. So yeah, Dave, this is a gift from Santa.
Oh, it's very nice. Very nice. When are you breaking out the other special one you got?
That one was from my mom, yeah, as well. I should do that for another one. I'll bring that out later, but I'll keep it secret as you have with yours, Dave. I'll keep it secret. But yeah,
we'll keep
good shout.
Secret.
Good shout. Thank you, Welsh Gal. Very nice.
It's unbelievable. Big up, Welsh Gal. Great. It is a very nice jumper, actually. It'd be great with a pair of black jeans and white runners. Look absolutely awesome. Danielle Zita says, David, do you reckon Scarlett will be on the bench tonight as he's recalled? Look, we'll get into Scarlett. It's a bit complex what we do with him. He's going to be around here now until the summer. We'll explain why when we get there. But look, let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. It opens up the door for others to go out on loan, I suppose. So let's wait and see what happens there. But we'll talk about that in just a little bit. Killian Gubbins, great to see you in the building. I swear, good to see you. He says, hi, legends. Do you think Ferguson will start? Look, he's sort of had he's been in and out of the squad with injury so far this season. It's one of them. I hope that, he's just sort of getting used to the rigors of men's football, and that it's not something that's going to keep continuing, that that his body can't handle it. Let's wait and see. But look, his record is absolutely phenomenal for a teenager in the Premier League, which I'll get on to, Killian. But look, it'd be nice to see him play. I hope he doesn't score. I actually hope he has a really bad day, despite how much I rave about him. Also, big up Neil. Cheers, my friends. Lost the stream and was gifted. I think, yeah, you were, my man. You were gifted by the Tron. Or was it? Yeah, I think by the Tron. So make sure you big up Tron. Big up Jamie as well. Good to see you in the building. But look, we'll crack on with the next question. Dermatron, down to you, son.
Yeah.
Our away form down the years have been shocking. Losing to the likes of NS Mora, championship teams in the cups, and it was horrific in London derbies. I remember pointing out that record last season, and it drove me mad. But we have the second best away form in the league this season as it stands, and a win on the South Coast would make us the best away form in the Premier League. What has led to the sudden upturn or drastic change in our away form?
I think it's all to do with Ange. I think it's confidence that we can go away from home and win. I think a lot of it was we weren't confident when we went away from home. And once we went 1-0 down or 2-0 down, or we started badly, it was like we couldn't get out of that slump. With Ange now, it's different. We're confident we can beat anyone. And football is for the confidence. It's all about confidence. It's all about instilling confidence into your players and going out there. Right, I don't care where we are. Could be at Stamford Bridge, could be at Old Trafford, Anfield, St James's Park. And we've gone into places before, Dave, when there's been intimidating atmospheres and the players have just whittled away. You won't get this under Ange. And this is the thing. You've got to be men going out there. We've been sending out boys. We're now sending out men. And I think that's the difference. I think we're going out there. We won't let atmospheres affect us. If we go 1-0 down, okay, we'll just keep playing the same way. We'll get the result in the end. And I think it's all down to confidence and Ange. Ange is the main reason. And look, it's great we've got in a great waveform. I'm just so confident we're going to win every game now. And it's lovely to feel like that when we're under Conte or Mourinho or Nuno, or even at the end of Poch's era. It was like, do you know what? He had an awful away record. And it was like, we hadn't won away, for a year? And you looking back now to then, you just totally different. It's all down to Ange. It's Ange is the reason why we are who we are now.
Yeah, look, I definitely think Ange Postecoglou, the way he's come in, changed the mindset. I think the approach probably helps as well. For me, look, I think the biggest difference is, and I think the warning signs were there. You know, there's so many certain players that played in some of the most embarrassing away defeats that we've suffered. The likes of Sessions, Dyers, Davies, since improved a little, but, you know, we'll have a conversation on him in a little bit. But, you know, Doherty, people like that. And since a lot of these guys are gone, I think that's also, and then when you look at the players we brought in, look at the mentality of Porro, Romero, and, you know, Adoji, people like that. When you look at the mentality of these players, because when you went to away games, scoring goals was never a problem. The four players always stepped up to their part. We always scored goals, but keeping them out was a huge problem. We like, I don't know whether they felt intimidated, nervous, or what. But, you know, we just collapsed on away days. Even against, if you're choking against Ennismore, you can choke against anybody. I think since a lot of them players are nowhere near the squad now, like a Dyer, look like the Session, people like that. Now that managers don't have to rely on them, that we've refreshed it in that area. I think that back line and also added to the goalkeeper is why we're seeing the massive upturn in sort of away form. I don't know about you, Jack. Where are you at with it?
I think you made a very good point there, Dave, that the teams that we have ended up not showing up for, the teams that we have been embarrassed by in the past, means that anything can happen and that any team we could lose to technically. But I'd like to think that sort of that mentality is being slowly sort of ridded out of the squad, piece by piece, player by player. There is something to it, though, that it could still be lingering, you know, in some of these guys. And it also is kind of contagious where one player looks nervous, one player doesn't look sure of himself, and all of a sudden, you know, breeds that into another player. Even just recently, Kulusevski sort of came out and said, yeah, I think we're a really amazing team. Love playing with everybody here, but I would still say there's a lot to work on mentally. And I thought that was interesting from Kulusevski to say, because he's probably alluding to as well that maybe this team doesn't have sort of the maybe experience that, you know, will, you know, get you through games, or sort of the maturity that can get you through games, or just sort of that game management that's sometimes needed, I think. And we haven't exactly shown that. We haven't been focused or, you know, been really able to put in full 90-minute performances on a consistent display. We come out the gates really fast and then we sort of fade away in periods. And I think that is down to that mentality that you're sort of alluding to that still creeps in from time to time. But in a way, just to spin it a bit more positive, happy clapper style, Dave, I'd say that slowly it's being ridded away, slowly, but it is being ridded away. I think we're headed in the right direction with it.
Look, 100%, I agree with you. I think there's still elements of it there when we get down to the bare bones. No surprise, hey, presto, back again. But Ange Postecoglou managed to turn that ship around. It was ready to go the way it went under Conte last season. But he's managed to, through different changes, moving players about this, that, and the other, he's managed to get a song out of them and managed to steer it in a complete different direction. So I definitely, absolutely. But look, hopefully we don't have to suffer any more embarrassing sort of away days anymore. You know, second best in the league. But what I will say is that has to change in the cup. Fulham away earlier on the season we went out. So, we still have to sort of turn that around in the cup. Big up David Shire, who's gifted a membership too. We'll get the name now, my man. Give me 1 second. Jacko's on the case. But first of all, I hope you had as best of a Christmas as you can, and you made plenty of memories for life, Davey. But Jack, who did it go to?
Jay Mead, and Jay Mead as well earlier in the chat. He's
Nice.
or she had some great comments as well. So Jay Mead, like I sort of echoed to Neil, and Neil, I understand, when you're saying, maybe not too confident or anything like that to come on stream. Believe me, we understand. And whenever it feels right for you, please come on and join the fan shows. But if you didn't know, there are plenty of videos and things like that are only exclusive to the members. And in fact, if you've just recently become them, maybe go back into the archives, take a look at some of maybe the videos and takes that Dave and I have had from maybe weeks ago, months ago, and see how they hold up today and all that good stuff. But yeah, there's pre-match thoughts that are exclusive to the members, extra bit of contents here and there as well. So feel free to take advantage of that. And also, if you happen to be a fantasy player, when it comes to the Fantasy Premier League, feel free to join the league and see how you hold up and compared to the rest of us. Big up to you, Jamie. And David Shire,
big up.
Of course.
And he's already he copped onto it, and he's thanked Davey already in there. Big up, Jay Mead. Really, hopefully, you enjoy being a part of the community. And big up to Davey Shire, a really, really kind generosity. And Jason Bell has gifted 5 Irish Hotspur memberships. Absolutely insane. Jacko, let's go through it. Who are the 5 names?
Big up to you, Jason Bell. Hopefully you had a wonderful Christmas or just whatever holidays you might be celebrating. Big up to you, Jason, and really, really generous to you. And hopefully you are keeping well, man, because he's one of our very, very dedicated and very loyal American listeners. Big up to you, Jason. And he's donated one to P-Dubs. Rhode Island's finest has received that membership. Big up to you, P-Dubs. I'd love to have a chat with you again sometime soon. Hot tub stream indeed. Quincy B has been gifted one as well. Big up to you, Quincy. Darv Hotspur, I believe he's been a member maybe once or twice. Big up to you, Darv. I recognize that name. Daniela Zito, we love you, Daniela. Feel free to take advantage. Look at the exclusive content or come on and have your say. And then Dave Tyson, one of the many members of the Dave Army. And also Dave Tyson, I must say, a good name. Sounds like actually a boxer's name. If it does, maybe a bit of I don't know. With Dave Tyson, I just like the name. Member of the Dave Army. Big up.
Yeah, another member of the Dave Army. It's going strong, The more Daves, the merrier. That's what, I always say. I'm pretty sure everyone else around me says no, one is enough. But do you know what? Actually, funny thing is, whatever does be on TV lately, whenever something goes wrong, the person's name is always Dave. It's bloody brilliant. It's hilarious. It's always Dave that's the hassle. But look, I say the more the merrier. So big up the Dave Army and big up Jason Bell. Very, very kind thing of you to do, sir. So everybody, make sure you get in there and thank Jason. Also, feel free to do what others have done and pass them on if that's what you want to do. It's your prerogative. But make sure you are smashing that like button. I haven't said that. That's very important. Your boys like to sort of be on the ropes at times, but ultimately we love beating the algorithm. So help us in that by smashing that like button. Now, guys, back down to Utron. Sonny, James Maddison and Romero are all set to be unavailable for Tottenham in January through various reasons. With the entire leadership team out, who would you give the armband to over the course of that month?
Do you know what? It's a hard one. Look,
you want to go Jack first?
No. Look, if Maddison's back, you give it to Maddison, of course, and Romero, but they're out. I would actually give it to Papa Sarr. That's my choice. I think he's young. I think he can be trusted. I would give it to a young lad, him or Destiny or somebody like that. I'll give it to younger players. They can be trusted. They're the ones that would lead by example. You can't trust Basuma because he just get himself sent off every 5 minutes.
Well, he's out anyway as well. So.
He's out anyway. So yeah, I'll give it to the young lads, Papa Sarr or Destiny or Porro. There's a lot of chance for Borough and that's me. I never thought of it, Dave, like that, and that's what caught me off guard when you said that because I forgot they're away.
Well, here, Dermot, I'll provide the best talking points in the business.
I have to say that is a damn good question. I'll give you credit where credit's due. That is a damn good. Not many people have me left speechless. Dave Harris is the first man to do it, so fair play to you, Mr. Harris. But yeah, the young lads, Sarr, Destiny, or Porro for me.
Can't be Sarr either because he's gone to AFCON
as well. He's gone as well. Too many mince pies. The brain's gone.
I'll
go for the two fullbacks then.
I'll go to Jacko. Jacko, who do you think will be giving it?
Thank you.
Well, the
And
obvious candidate.
who would you like to see giving it as well?
I'd like to see it be given to you, Dave, because you already have the captain's armband on you right now. So I think you're sort of the most obvious candidate. But other than yourself, I think it has to go to either Porro or Vicario for me. With Porro first, do you remember last year when he was being praised quite quickly into sort of his introduction into the team, Dave? There was that Athletic article that had come out that said that Porro, you know, he had picked up English a lot quicker than people really expected. He had sort of this vibe around the dressing room that was actually more kind of like a leader than really just sort of, your other sort of player or average player in the squad. There was definitely some praise quite quickly sort of about Porro's attitude, his sort of mentality in general. I think you and I really already get a lot off of sort of his fist pumps and, his sort of, moments of intensity and just sort of passion. But in all seriousness, like I do remember some article that had come out last year about sort of how quickly Porro had adapted to England, just to the squad, and also just to the club in general, that he's just a good attitude, a good person to have around the team, and is in a way just sort of an inspiring person, or a guy that people can sort of rally around. So maybe Pedro Porro is sort of the guy. And then Vicario, I just think he's just got, I don't know, Dave, he's got balls of steel. He's got balls of composure. He's just has everything. Like he's sort of just, he is elite mentality. So is Pedro Porro. I think Pedro Porro has an elite mentality as well. But Vicario, there's just something about him. Like even when he gives like those post-match, sort of recaps with his phone, like how quietly he's like talking and everything like that. He just has this sort of coolness and sort of like, I don't know, like you just trust the guy, like you really do. And I really like Vicario and just sort of his overall attitude and general just sort of presence. Like he does have a certain type of, calm and almost like quiet authority, I would call it, like a quiet type of authority for Vicario. So I'd give it to either of them. I just maybe give a little shout out to Porro, though, just because it seems like he has that passion. He has that sort of energy that's necessary. But then also I heard last year that he was a guy that a lot of people really warmed up to quite quickly. So maybe he's an obvious candidate, too.
I mean, you look at it. Sorry, Dave, just very quick. You look at Porro. When Porro scores, when we score a goal, you can see him trying to cheer up the crowd. He's always, he's always doing something to pump up the crowd or something. He reminds me of an old school captain that you can get behind. He's a leader of men. He will lead you into a battle. And I think I think Destiny's the same. I think Destiny deserves a shout. I think he's captain material. Vicario, I agree with as well. But, I don't agree with captains as goalkeepers in general anyway. But yeah, Porro for me. I think Porro's a great shout. I know everyone's going to go for Davis or somebody like that, but no, for me, Porro, he's a leader of men. And so is Destiny. He will become a leader of men as well. For me, that's my two. I agree with Jack 100%.
Yeah, look, for me, I do understand the Davies shout, but I'd rather it be given to someone that's going to be in the first 11 when everyone's fit. When we're talking about new leadership group, why would we resort to old players who had the core of the dressing room over the last few years and it was absolutely toxic? I don't think it makes sense. Postecoglou's already come in and steered away from a lot of that already with what he's done in terms of giving it to Sonny, Madison and Romero. For me, I can understand why people pick Davies because obviously he's been here 10 years, whether I agree with that or not. He has been. So longevity and stuff like that, I can understand, a guy that never complains. Of course, I wouldn't complain if I knew I wasn't fit for the job and I was being paid more than what I was worth. But yeah, look, I can understand why he would be given the shout. But for me, I'd rather it go to someone like a Pedro Porro, someone that will be in this starting 11 going forward, give someone else that responsibility because what it does then is when everyone is back fit and we do have all the other leaders back, you've got another guy there who's also a leader on the pitch just waiting to step in and fill that role, and he'll also feel he has more authority on the pitch like that, and it can only benefit that 11. So for me, it would be looking at Pedro Porro. I agree with the Vicario shout either. However, I think Vicario is a leader. I don't think he needs that armband to be that guy. You already see him sort of pulling the last clean sheet we kept. He pulled the whole back four together after the game, with a little huddle between themselves. And what I love about that, it shows how much the clean sheet means to him, how much he loves the defensive unit and stuff like that, which is something we're not used to seeing at Tottenham from a goalkeeper. So I think you've actually got a leader there without actually having to give him that captain's armband. Whereas I think someone like Porro, I think it would elevate him to another level altogether by giving him that responsibility. But I can understand why people would suggest someone like Ben Davies. But for me, I would stay well clear of giving them that responsibility. But that's just my personal opinion.
Yeah.
I understand there's going to be plenty out there, maybe King Huddle, who'd probably love Ben Davies to get the captain's armband. And King Huddle, I am only joking, my man. I'm only joking. We have plenty of back and forth over that, guys. So please don't shoot me. I'm just in great form today. Some would say top form, but look, you know, I wouldn't push it that far. But look, Jack, as it stands, we're 6 points off top, and we will close the gap if we do win tonight. We're in a bit of a weird position. Are we title contenders, or are we top four hopefuls?
That's what made me nervous about sort of the question earlier. I think when you were sort of asking me about sort of taking advantage of this sort of run, you know, kind of needing 3 points today. And it's sort of like it kind of is needed. Like if we want to take ourselves seriously, if we want to actually have these sort of conversations in any sort of realistic, serious type of manner, I mean, you got to win games like this, and you have to continue the run, continue the momentum. So that's what makes me nervous, Dave. I think I brought up that word, that I was slightly nervous because the teams have dropped points like around us, and we are climbing up the table so much faster than I even expected, which means that you have to take advantage. You can't slow down. You just have to sort of ride out, you know, this good form while everybody else doesn't seem to be in that great of form, to be perfectly honest. Like I even was saying that Liverpool, despite that win over Burnley, it wasn't all that convincing. I look at other teams around the top of the table. I think some of their performances have started to dip, or even it's just this sort of congested fixture period has led to teams just not being nearly as sort of convincing on paper, or at least in their performances, than they have in the beginning of the season. Man City, I mean, are they even like sort of, I mean, sure, they're going to be in the title race at some stage, but I mean, they're not as serious or as given as people gave them earlier, right? Now I'm starting to have some worries about them. It's a very difficult one to get after, Dave. So I'd say Spurs, if they want to take themselves at all seriously with the title race, you have to win this game. You really do. And 3 points is all that matters, and continue to take advantage of the rest of the team sort of crumbling around us. And not on, I mean, how many teams? I even looked at the form right now. We're one of the few teams at the top of the table that I saw that have 3 greens, you know, 3 wins in a row, right? So let's take advantage of that here. And it makes me a little bit nervous because knowing like what you brought up with mentality and Spurs, you know, not showing up on certain days, and when there is that pressure, do they really, you know, come through? A lot of those questions will be answered today. So I'm a little nervous about it, Dave. It's because, you know, of the drop points around us and how quickly we are climbing again.
No, 100%. And look, I'd also argue, you know, we're down to players, you know, that some of them are not even going to be here after January. And look at the performances Will Steer putting in. I would argue we play the most attractive football on the eye to watch in the Premier League. I think we're the best team in the Premier League so far this season in terms of consistency. But take out that little spell where it was an adaptation period to losing so many players. You know, look at the way we've come out of it, and look at the way we started with players to come back. So you'd like to think between now and sort of what is April, when the fixtures ramp up again, I think we've got Liverpool, Arsenal, City, West Ham all sort of close together. All we got to do between now and then is just pick up the 3 points against the teams you're supposed to and leave it in your own hands. A win tonight would definitely send us fans into the new year dreaming. It also probably give the fans some maybe expectations, and also hopefully put a bit of pressure on the board, a few demands on the board to be able to get players in. You don't know when an opportunity like this is going to present itself again. You just don't. Man City, off the back of winning 4, you know, maybe they've lost that bit of appetite, that bit of hunger. Maybe you can capitalize on them maybe having a bit of an off form. So that opportunity is there, and I'd rather it be us than them other dogs down the road, Arsenal. So hopefully it is us. Hungry dogs run faster, and hopefully we're the hungriest dog in the race. But Tron, where are you on that, brother?
You know where I am, Dave. I've been saying it from the very start. You know where I've been saying it from day one. Look, once we had the start we had, we are in the title race. People like it or not like it, or don't believe it or do believe it. It's up to you. Mathematically, we're in the title race. We're well in a Champions League race as well. It's in our own hands. David's right. We have to pick up the wins. The wins that we should be picking up. We should be picking up all 3 points. I just think we're hungrier. I just think we've got a better mentality than the team around us. And this is one of these Premier League seasons where anyone can win the league, from Liverpool to Arsenal to us to Man City. Nobody's actually going on big runs or dominating the league. So once you get to April, that's when the big dogs start to come out. That's when the big teams start to show their true mentality. But if we can stay there within the race, within a couple of points, look, why not? we were told by Ange, we were given permission. You got permission to dream. Why can't we not dream? Why do people slag off fans for dreaming? We've been through enough bullshit over the last 4 years, enough nightmares, enough being sad, enough fighting with each other. Let's all get together and all dream. If we don't win the league this season, by Jesus, we're going to have a good crack at it next season. But let's enjoy the ride. Fuck's sake, let's enjoy.
What I will say is, by going for it, we've got nothing to lose. By going for it, you'll automatically end up in the Champions League for next season anyway, by going for it. So you've got absolutely nothing to lose if I was Daniel Levy to try and pull resources together and try and get something done here. I'd also add, everyone sort of said, well, when Spurs get injuries and an injury crisis, let's see, that's when they'll drop off. Well, we're still there. So what now? Where are we moving the goalpost to now? But look, let's wait and see what happens. Definitely exciting. We've got to get over the line today. We've got to be chomping down on some seagull wings later on tonight. And then also, cherry on the pie against Bournemouth, the cherries. That'll also be lovely. And then head into the new year and let's see.
Making me hungry.
What happens? I'm making myself hungry here, Jack.
I'm actually allergic to cherries, so no cherry pie for me.
When I think of a seagull too, Dave, I think of a chipper as well. I think of a nice fish and chips, so because that's what we do in Seattle. A lot of people like to throw the French fries, which probably isn't good for them. I imagine the seagulls, it's probably not very healthy for them to be eating them, but that's what people do. So getting me hungry, Dave, with that, and a cherry as well. Would that be great?
Love it. Dermotron dished out a membership a little while back. There's a few we're going to get to now, so just give us 1 second and we'll find out who.
Dermotron has become an elite member. Thank you very much, the Tron.
I just upgraded today.
Big up, Tron.
That's the elite man. The elite man himself. Big up to you, Mr. Tron. Really do appreciate that. Emily Dunn as well, and has gifted a membership to Dragon D's Nuts. Dragon D's Nuts, one of the better names in the username community around here.
That's for me. That's my one.
There's Dave. Dragon D's Nuts. Please thank Dave for his generosity, as well as bringing you in closer to the community and getting all the exclusive stuff that all the members get with their membership. Big up to you, Dragon D's Nuts. Big up to you, Dave.
As a Dave Army member as well, considering it starts with D. So big up.
And he's continued it on, Dave. He's spread on your generosity over to Tony. Tony as well has been gifted a membership. Big up to you, Tony. And like I said earlier, take advantage of it, whether you want to come on and, speak with us on the fan shows. There's exclusive videos that you can watch that are only available to the members. Fantasy League too. Please take advantage of it. Big up to you, Tony.
Big up, Tony. Hopefully we get to see you on a fan show. King Huddle also says I was going to have a go, Dave, until you confirmed it was a joke. Nah, look, King Huddle. What I will say is, you'll know when I'm serious or not. When I'm ranting or raving, when I'm serious, or whether I'm, when I'm on days like today when I am on great form. I'm definitely joking, brother. But big up, King Huddle. Good to see you in the building. I only banter with you because I like you, my man. And then we also have Welsh Gal member for 22 months. Absolutely outstanding service. She'd be halfway to a pension if she joined the army and had 22 months of service. So big up, Welsh Gal. Really appreciate that. She says, yes, lads, join this channel. The content is great. And Dave and Jack and Dermotron are lovely to speak to on the fan show. Big Ange Express. Choo, choo. Look, really appreciate that. Likewise, I had the pleasure of meeting you when you were in Dublin. We were up there heading to an Ireland game, stopped in. We were sitting down with Welsh Gal, and what was the points? Wolfhound or something like that, if I remember correctly.
It was, Dave,
I got down your neck. Hopefully you enjoyed the Irish hospitality. And look, if you're ever over this way again, do let us know, and we'll definitely arrange to do something for sure. But look, also it'd be lovely to have you on a fan show again, for you to come on and speak to us at some point again soon if you get the chance. Anything you want to say, Jack Welshie?
Big up, Welsh Gal. Classy lady, and a great person to have conversations with as well. I mean, as much as I think we're a pleasure to speak to on the fan show, we enjoy speaking with you. We enjoy speaking with everybody on the fan show. It's just nice to chat to fellow Spurs fans and just hear different opinions. And also, I think with sort of the fan show, there is sort of a nice, I don't know how you put it, sort of like kind of friendly sort of club or vibe, kind of to it, where everybody in the back end, we have a nice chat beforehand, just sort of see how everybody is. And then we just sort of chat whatever we want to chat about, really. And it's just always, I've had good crack with it, just had good times. And I felt like also with the fan shows, we get to know people a little bit better, we get to kind of know what sort of, bothers them about Spurs, what, gets them excited about Spurs, what their pet peeves are, what, their secret sort of hot takes are, all that sort of type of stuff. And it's just nice. And hopefully people can take advantage of it. But really nice of you, Welsh gal. And I must say, she's a pleasure to have a nice beer with as well. And hopefully some stage we can have another one sometime soon.
Definitely.
Welsh gal, big up to you.
But you know what, Jack? That's what I love about this sort of, doing this YouTube and stuff. Like, I was a little fat dwarf from a little village in Ireland with, friends that I could count on one hand. Now I've got thousands of friends, and it's absolutely unbelievable. I love it. It's absolutely brilliant. I'm blessed in that way, and I wake up every day, realizing that as well, which is absolutely brilliant. Big up, Welsh gal. Let me know if you're ever back over for sure. We'll definitely meet up. Hopefully, I'll be able to get you a ticket for the Ireland game this time, and you can come in and cheer on the boys in green. But although I'd say you had more fun, back where you were than what we did in the stadium, that's for sure. Al Ben's in with us. Big up, Al Ben. Good to see you, sir. Hopefully, you had a great Christmas. Jacko, he says, find it hard to get over that Chelsea game. Imagine where we would be. That's the killer, isn't it?
Yeah.
I saw a really funny meme, Dave and Dermot, where if you've seen Interstellar, have you seen Interstellar, Dave?
Yeah.
There's a scene, they were showing the Matthew McConaughey meme where he's like looking at himself from like the past, and he's like, slamming on like the door, like, no, don't go through the door, don't do it. And it was, I think, Spurs with the Chelsea game, where it's like, you go back to that Chelsea game, if you could, you would probably, try to cancel it, in whatever way possible, because it was just nightmarish for us. So yeah, I must say, I think it's still a game that will forever live, in sort of a harsh, haunting memory. Al Ben, it pretty much almost derailed our season. It took a huge hit towards our momentum. Just sort of, we were on cloud nine as Spurs fans. I mean, let's be honest. I think we were going to win that game by 3 or 4 had it not been for just sort of that type of capitulation on our behalf. And also just, I think, and still to this day, still disagree about the red card, but that's another thing. And Al, I think it's one of those games that will just forever be haunting. And that's what Chelsea is, though. Chelsea has always found it so lucky against us. Really have, like, so lucky. It's so many games, so frustrating. So many decisions either by referees or just sort of lucky tap-ins. Like, it felt like Chelsea. I remember they got so many lucky bounces of the ball that game too, just lucky deflections and everything too. It's just one of those where they just have luck on their side against us, and it's always haunting to come up against them, because even when we deserve to win, it's never that easy against them. So Al, I will try to forget about it, but I never will. It is probably one of the most haunting games I've ever seen Spurs play. Just, Dave, it was like the apocalypse, watching in front of us. Just everybody was, going out injured. It's just, it was a game that you couldn't wrap your head around.
Do you know what? I actually got away with that one. I was actually supposed to be there. It was just in and around my birthday. But because they moved it to a Monday night, I couldn't make it. So I actually got away with that one. I would have been absolutely devastated. Because you know me, Jack. Be giving it large before the game, large in the stands, and then to be beaten by your enemy. I mean, there's absolutely nothing worse. And plus the fact that Pochettino came here, he's done an absolutely shit job. Chelsea have been absolutely shit. And then they come and mop the floor with us. But look, that's all down to the referee, that Oliver, basically sending off Romero for something that wasn't. Absolute joke of a decision. I'd love Spurs to maybe push back on that one at the end of the season when you get to do your reviews, and say, when you win the ball, how can that be a red card? Are you blind? Do you need to go and get an eyes test? Stuff like that. But it hurt. It was a dagger to my heart. And if we won that, I think, we probably wouldn't have lost any games up until now. It would have created great confidence in us. But look, it is what it is. We dust ourselves down, we move on, and then we beat them at the Chelsea Flower Show. When we go, not only that, right, what we do is we turn up to Chelsea's Flower Show, we hire the best florist in town, win that, and then go beat them on their own turf, not America, Al Ben. But Dermotron, still hurt from that Chelsea game?
Oh yeah, that was devastating that night. It took me, if it took the players a while to get, it took me at least a week to get over that game. It was like watching all your nightmares in one go, and it was just devastating. And to any other team, I could have slightly accept any other team, but not Chelsea or the West Ham game as well, which is another disaster. But look, I think we've had a bad run now. I think that was our run over with, and I think now we won't go through that again. But this is the magic of Ange. This is the point. We were down on our knees, and look, 3 out of the last 5, 3 on the bounce. Ange's got it together. You never keep a good man down, but that Chelsea game, I'm still having nightmares over that. I'm waking up in the middle of the night over that sending off, Dave. It's like
Mm.
I'm shouting no, and the missus is looking at me thinking, what are you shouting no for? I'm shouting no to the referee. It's not sending off. Like, and I even shouted out the other night, Dave, you're right, in my sleep. Do you know, that game has a nightmare on me. Do you know, but there you go. Honestly. But look, it's a lesson. It's a lesson we learned from it. It's a lesson we learned from it. But I'll give one good thing to come out of that game was where we never gave up. We kept playing the high line.
Mm.
And if we took our chances, we would have got all 3 points. So it's all about taking chances.
Look, and I don't know, a lot of people did sort of disagreed with the way we approached it with 9 men. For me, I absolutely loved it. It's like being a rebel on the battlefield with a flag. You know what I mean? Like sort of, you know, depleted and everything else, and we still went, never surrender. Absolutely love it. Couldn't beat it. I absolutely loved it. But big up, Al Ben. Hopefully it's better memories tonight. Hopefully, like I said, we'll be feasting on the Seagull barbecue later on, my man. Malware 13 says, keep up the grind and dedication, guys. Big up, Malware, brother. Really do appreciate the support on that. Look, we try as hard as we can. I know the content hasn't been as much as maybe as it was last year, but of course, no midweek games and stuff like that. Sometimes when there's nothing out there, there's no point in putting anything out there, you know, sort of. So, but look, we have plenty coming up in the new year, plenty that I've been working on behind the scenes and stuff like that. So just stay tuned, Malware, and really appreciate it. Look, I absolutely enjoy doing it. I love doing it. It's not a grind for me, really. It's not a grind when you love doing it, I suppose. Big up, Malware. Really appreciate the sentiment. DJ Samuel with the big one. Really do appreciate that. It's a super sticker. First of all, if it was an error or a mistake, please let me know. And I think I have your number anyway, and I'll definitely refund it to you if that is a mistake, my man. I'm not quite so sure. Maybe you had a good day on Boxing Day at the bookies or something like that. Who knows? But if it is meant to be, my man, I really do appreciate it. It really does go a long way to help. So really do appreciate that. Just confirm though, because if it is, we'll sort it out and I'll get you it back, brother. Jack, and what's super sticker?
Really generous, DJ Samuel. Really generous, man. And our man out in North London, I hope you had a wonderful holidays. I hope you have a wonderful Christmas and a good, happy New Year. And Dave, this is a super sticker I have not seen before. It's sort of a, you know, this sort of like rhino kind of or hippopotamus sort of like sitting in a chair and, you know, sort of kind of like yourself. But then all of a sudden it just turns into this like transformer, you know, type of thing. And it's really actually just, it's entertaining. Like I'm actually just looking at it, you know, and sort of the stream right now, just sort of staring at this guy, just continually turning into a transformer. And hopefully that's what we see Dave do when we see a Richie goal, or maybe at some stage a nice sunny goal as Dave. Dave just rises from his chair, goes full transformer mode for everybody. But really, really cool super sticker. And also I must say, DJ Samuel, very generous as well. And like I said, you know, hopefully you and yours had a wonderful Christmas, and I hope you have a good New Year as well, DJ.
Yeah, big up, DJ. Really do appreciate it. Look, when I lose a few more pounds and I'm a bit more agile, by the way, I feel like a 20-year-old lately, but when I do lose a few more pounds and I get a bit more agile, I'll be jumping around the place. You guys will be telling me to sit down. So absolutely can't wait for that to happen. But big up, DJ Samuel. Really do appreciate the generosity of the support, my man. Absolute top man. Also, just quickly, the mother's in here. Big up, Ma. She says, thanks for a wonderful Christmas, David. No, look, thank you to, you know, you and Dad for, you know, hosting us all like you do every single year. You've always made a Christmas a magical time for me and my sisters and my niece now. So thank you very much. Putting great effort on the Christmas dinner. I tried to repay the thank you by washing up. So hopefully you enjoyed that part of me getting stuck into the sink. Don't tell the missus though, because she'll expect me to do that every week, which I don't want to do and I don't like doing. But honestly, it was great. We had a great time sitting there, you know, seeing my mom have a great time, my dad having a great time, smiles on their faces. They've had, you know, a tough years and years gone by and stuff like that, but it was a good year this year, and great to see everyone with smiles on their faces, even doing a bit of karaoke. Some great, your boy flexed the vocals, as you know, he likes to sing a little, so was absolutely acing on that as well. That was a great time, card games, everything else, really enjoyed it. So thank you to every one of my family for making the day special. So thank you very much, Mother, really do appreciate that. Also big up the Wizard, coming in with some knowledge. He says, what's up, guys? Watching here from Santry in Dublin. Need the big 3 points today. Come on, you Spurs. You're a wizard, Harry. That's out of Harry Potter. Big up the wizard. Good to see you in the building. I'm telling you, I'm on fire today. Oh, my God, I need to get up and do my exercises every morning. I'm honestly,
Big up to
I'm
the
on
Dublin
fire.
Spurs fans as well. Shout out to the Dublin Spurs fans. Big up to you, the wizard.
There's more and more of us Irish fans coming out of the woodwork, you know. More and more of us, which is good.
Right
Maybe
in Wexford, I'm telling you. There's only me. I'm the only one in Wexford.
You never know, Dermo. You see one, next thing you start seeing them everywhere, brother. Trust me. If not, move up this side of the country. That's where all the big Spurs fans are from. Joshua Overby. Big up, Joshua. He says, Richie getting another goal would be shirts off celebration worthy tonight. Love your streams and content, boys. Let's effing go. Look, I'd absolutely love a Richie goal. I mean, it drives me crazy. I love doing the proo, the pigeon. Me and Jack actually get clipped up when Richie scores, which I love it because we go that insane. But Dermo, I mean, are you now enjoying Richie in the team? And how's the pigeon celebration coming along? Is the form better?
I am. I'm practicing every day. 2 hour practice every day. I'm going to announce it tonight. The new version of it, Dermatron Pigeon 2.10. I just want to quickly go back to the Transformers. Yeah, it will be. Just want to go back quickly to Transform a bit, right? I can see Jack just sitting there, Tottenham score. You can say, David, transform. You can see Dave transforming into this jumping sort of Tottenham fan. That's it. But there's only one Dermatron. I am the original.
Joshua.
You can be the apprentice. But very quickly down, Joshua. Yeah, just very quickly. Look, I think Richarlison's fantastic. I'm really getting behind him now. He's injury free. This is why we paid the money for him. Sorry, Jack. I didn't mean to think.
No.
Richarlison.
Big up to Joshua, and great name, Joshua Overby. I must say that's a very nice name. And Richie, I mean, I've been a big fan of Richie since he's come here. I really, really wanted him to do well from the get-go. It's really nice to finally see him and sort of what could be his best spell of form, or probably his, I mean, it's probably not even a debate, his best spell of form in a Spurs shirt. I even remember the day when he first signed for us, Joshua, and remember Romero and him, sort of had that hilarious sort of meeting between each other, the two sort of like kings of housery, coming up against each other. It really was terrific. And it's just good to see Richie smiling, seeing him happy again. And to be honest, with how good he's been recently, I think he has earned, a shirt, being ripped off and a shirt being torn off. I think a lot of times people got really upset with him for just scoring one goal and then ripping off his shirt. But now I think he's earned it. And maybe at some stage, Dave or I, if we ever get too crazy on the pigeon celebrations and on the dance, or maybe towards the end of the season when things really start to matter, you never know. You might see a big tearing off of the shirt of one of us as well, maybe during the watch along. But I think Richie, Dave, I think he's earned it. I think he's earned a good sort of jersey pull off, don't you?
He definitely has, Jack. I'd say people more want to see your jersey being pulled off than mine, to be honest with you. But look, if he bags a hat trick tonight, you might see it, even though you might not want to see it. You might see it.
That's
but look,
what the Transformers for.
I think Richie was maybe just short of that against Everton. He was going to celebrate. He went for it, and then he realised who he was playing against and pulled back. About 10 seconds into it. So I think, that'll be built up today for sure. Bag's another one. We're going to, look, I'll ask the boys off the back of this, as Richarlison repaid the faith that Ange has shown in him, let's not forget, Ange showed huge faith. He moved him from the left. He took Sonny, the main guy, out from the centre forward, out to the left-hand side. If that went wrong, everyone would be like, what the fuck is Ange doing? But it was an absolute masterstroke putting Richie back down the middle. It gave us a presence in the box, someone to aim at. Now the wingers, the whole front line looks a lot more fluid. It looks a lot more natural. I mean, look, we'll start with you on this one, Jack, and we'll make our way down to the Tron. As Richarlison repaid the faith that Andrew's shown in him, or do we still need to see more?
I think he still needs to do more to really completely, repay the faith that anybody has shown him, whether it's been Ange or, people behind the scenes, all that stuff. But you've brought this up before, Dave, that actually almost Ange is kind of Richie's biggest fan, as you can tell, because he's just continued to throw him in there. Even when Richie was barely fit, I remember one of the games, he was barely fit. Like he could only give us like 10 or 15 minutes, what Ange said. And Ange threw him in for those 10 or 15 minutes, to make an impact. He seems to play him no matter where, really, whether it's on the right, on the left, up top. He just likes having Richie in the team. And I actually think Richie, I said this before, but I think Richie wasn't actually all that bad really on the left. I think he didn't suit certain teams, but against some teams, he did cause them trouble, and he was an effective player. And so I just think Ange has this faith in him that maybe we didn't notice, or I remember you brought it up before, but it wasn't as part of many conversations I remember around Spurs fans was, Ange seems to be a bigger backer than Richie than many of us actually realized. And it's just come to fruition, or he's being repaid for it. But I think Richie still needs to, carry in some good form, especially when Sonny leaves, right? This January period. That's the real time to repay some faith back to Ange. But Dave, that's something you brought up a while ago, that no matter when he's had 1 foot, to run on, Ange has thrown him in there pretty much. And even when he's not fully fit, Ange has thrown him in there, whether it's on the left, striker, right wing. He's preferred him over Hill. He's preferred him over Solomon. He's preferred him over pretty much anybody other than Sonny. In fact, I think Richie's kind of one of his go-to guys.
No, absolutely spot on there, Jack. He seems to trust the guy. He seems to put him out there. He seems to really like him. So despite what fans think of him or whether they have the skepticism, although I do think that opinion is changing. I do think fans are willing now to give him till the end of the season. I do think that they realize that the surgery, has had a massive impact on how he's playing, and that injury, like I said, I think the club should have protected him a long time ago. He's needed that surgery since last year. Obviously, he didn't want to get it done before the World Cup, but why couldn't he got it done after the World Cup and stuff like that? So I think, the club could have protected him a long time ago by putting something out there. They chose not to. But again, Richie's not, he's just one. He's put his head down like Emerson, even though taking a lot of stick, and just goes out there and does his job, and he's performing. But Dermo, where are you at with Richie? Has he repaid the fate, or has he got a lot more work to do?
Look, for me, I was against him. I will hold my hands up. I was one of the fans saying he needs to go. He's not good enough, but he's really impressed me. I think he has repaid the fans. I think he's repaying Ange in stack loads of money, sort of thing. If you get my meaning, he is paying off the 60 million transfer fee. I love Richie on the left. I love Richie in the middle. He can play anywhere in the front three, which is a godsend for Ange as well. But he always guaranteed 100% from him. Injured, not injured, he will give you his all, and that's what I love about Richie. He gives you everything, and he brings that bit of shithousery as well, where when you're down in the dumps, you need somebody to spark you into life, and Richie's that man. He will spark the team into some sort of, oh, come on, we can do this. And you see Richie, and I love him. I love him as a person. I think he's a lovely person, and he is a very good footballer. You don't play for Brazil. How crap Brazil are at the moment. You don't play for your national side and score regularly for them in South America, which is tough as it is. He really is he is the most improved player this season. And I think he will turn it around. I think he'd be a great asset for us next season and seasons beyond, because Richie is going to be the man. He's the one that Ange trusts. So if he's repaying Ange, he's repaying me. So fair play to him. Come on, Richie.
I love the mentality of the guy. He's one player that I know, whether he starts or whether he comes off the bench, he's going to give you 100%. And I can't say that for some of them squad players or some of them players that have been here the last 4 or 5 years. And, for me, he always gives it his all. And I'll always give someone a chance when they're giving it their all like that and they're putting it in like that. And look, long may it continue. Hopefully he does find a rich vein of form, and hopefully he continues on that today with another goal. And what's he got? 4 in 3 now. So let's make it 5 in 4 or 6 in 4. That'd be even better. But big up Joshua, my man. Great talking point, and really appreciate the support, Joshua. Absolutely love that. Big yourself up. Let me know where you're tuning in from, sir. We've got Mark P. He's becoming a new YouTube member. Big up Mark P. Welcome. I believe you were already one. I think you're just grabbing it back, my man. So welcome back, sir. And hopefully you're keeping well. Good to have you as a member of the community, Mark P. There's a strong Mark Army. Well, that's what I would say. It's very
secret
strong
rival to the Dave Army, I think, the Mark Army. Almost as big, but I don't think it's nearly as big. But the Mark Army is strong, very strong. Big up to you, Mark.
What we'll have to do is we'll have to get all the armies together and have a little Irish Hotspur football competition. See who's got the best army, the most strongest.
The Jack Army's on the rise with the Dermatron armies. We're on the rise. We're coming there, Jack. We're coming. We're the quiet ones. You have to watch out for the quiet ones. We're the ones that will come out and beat all you. Be like Game of Thrones. If anyone watches Game of Thrones, Jack's got the dragons, and I've got something else completely. I don't know what I've got.
Just quickly though, I do feel like David has become clearly overtaken almost Jack as one of the most common names, I think, like in the world. Like I just feel like I run across so many Davids, like in USA, of course, here, with this community and everything. So Mark Army, you got a tough battle with the Dave Army. So best of luck. Big up, Marky P.
We're
It's
strong.
like Game of Thrones. I've just got this Game of Thrones feel coming up, Dave. You know, like you're the king of the north, king of Kildare. You know, ready to take your army on the march.
Well, look, I'm waiting for the freedom of the city for Kildare, to be honest with you. Once that arrives, then I'll definitely be the king of Kildare. Look, I think I am anyway, so whether they give it to me or not, that's what I call myself every day when I wake up. But big up, Mark, and welcome, David Shire. Good to have you back in as well, and I really appreciate the support, my man. He says, sorry, guys, feeling a bit dusty. No, come on, you Spurs. Darlington to start, please. Well, look, we will. That brings us to the sort of the centre-back situation, which we'll get onto. And what does dusty mean, though, from down under, my man? Every country has different words that probably mean something. Maybe it means rusty, or I'm not quite so sure. But let me know what dusty means in the comment section, Davey. But look, moving on to centre-back, we'll obviously talk about the likes of Dyer and people like that after. But I did say in my particular lineup, although I don't think it's going to happen today, if you want a ready-made partnership to step in, you've got Darlington and Phillips, who've done an unbelievable job for the under-21s this season, a massive part of why they got off to the start that they've got off to. Look, obviously, if we buy a centre-back, that's going to limit their chances even further. Do you think we'll see any of these guys get an opportunity in the FA Cup game coming up? Do you think you'll see any of them start today? Could we see a surprise in the lineup?
I think so, yeah. I think it's definitely for the FA Cup, Dave. I really do. I don't think for today. I think he'll start with Emerson and Davis. Emerson done a fantastic job as an emergency centre back. Look, nothing I would love more to see Dorrington and Phillips start and get a go in the first team. I think you are right. It is a ready-made partnership already there. Look, I've been saying it for a while now. We needed to start one of the kids. Philip has been saying to me, no, it'll ruin their confidence. I get where he's getting at, but for me, I think you start a young player in there, he's going to give you all. He's going to run through brick walls for you and prove to you, I deserve this chance. But look, I think today would be Emerson and Davis, and I think for the FA Cup, he might start either Dorrington or Phillips. But I can't see him starting both. I would love to, but I can't. But today, Emerson and Davis for me. Dyer left in the hotel. They've went without him.
Oh, we'll get on to Dyer in a minute. But look, when it comes to the two youngsters, look, I don't understand why people are so anti giving them a chance. Newcastle, look what young Lewis Miney has done, 17 years old for Newcastle. Look at the players that Man City have brought through, the likes of Phil Foden, you recall Lewis, and you've got some others that are getting game time now. Liverpool have done it with Harvey Elliott and people like that, giving them game time. Curtis Jones, people like that. Arsenal have done it with Martinelli and Saka. Look where it's brought them. In fact, I'll go on to say we're one of the only teams in the Premier League that are anti-giving any youngster an opportunity, which I don't understand, Jack, because we made such a huge effort this summer to keep them all here and tie them down to contracts and book the trend of them leaving, going elsewhere for first-team football. But yeah, even with the injury crisis we've had, still no opportunities for some of them.
It's confusing. I trust Ange, to be honest, that he is going to find a time for them. It's just with how few games we actually do play and how important each of these games are, it is a huge risk. I do feel like there's been times when he could have probably leaned more on a younger player than he did need to lean on a guy like Eric Dyer, who he already doesn't rate anyways. And I think he's sort of making, he's almost, what is it, the term? He's almost putting pressure on himself, I think, at times by, going for guys like Dyer, where if he had just gone for Dorrington or had gone for maybe a Phillips or something like that, I personally think there wouldn't be as much pressure on Ange, in some of these sort of decisions. But I just feel that there will be a chance eventually for them. David Shire, I hope that it comes up in this FA Cup fixture. Really do hope that it does come up in that. But I also maybe have to be devil's advocate and just say that there are only so many games that they can actually feature in anyways. And it's just sort of hard to pick what is the right one and how do you find the right sort of period and, moment in time to give them that sort of chance, because you don't want to just throw them into a dumpster fire either where, they're not going to be able to really, swim and be able to show their best. So we'll see how it goes. But I don't know. I think it's more for next season, perhaps, with some European competition. I mean, this is too speculative, but sort of, let's say we finished around Europa League sort of places, something like that. I mean, that's almost a perfect competition, I think, for a lot of these sort of younger, talented players. Even Liverpool, look at Jurgen Klopp, right? David Shire. I mean, he's thrown in, the youngsters in plenty of occasions when they just want to sort
at centre back, the young kids against Burnley, unbelievable.
Kwanzaa is a good player, but even look at that game where they lost, Dave, against Saint Joie, I think in the Europa League. I mean, he fielded like 11 youngsters pretty much, like, and Cody Gakpo. I think it was pretty much just a team of youngsters in that team, and that's sort of a competition where you can sort of give these kids a go and give them a chance. So that's where I could see it happening. But Dave is right. Like, we have signed a lot of players, you know, to these new contracts. The younger players to new contracts have shown them that there is a pathway.
Change the whole payment structure for them.
Changed pretty much the whole ethos of how we treated young players and how we try to recruit them and everything. And we have indicated that there's a pathway. Just when will we see it? When will it come to fruition? I hope sometime soon. But I'm not worried that it's not going to happen. But it is a little confusing. Like, you know, when are we going to see it? When is it going to start to, you know, come, you know, or be more obvious, the sort of pathway for the younger players?
And look, I completely agree with you. I think it is more in view of next season when you're challenging on all four fronts. And what I think the reason why it needs to happen is because we have to fill out that squad. When you're challenging for all four fronts, especially now in modern day football with the amount of games you're expected to play, and they're only ramping them up even more, you rely on the squad. The reason why we've got a lot of injuries is because we keep relying on the same players playing them through injuries. At some point, we have to be able to rely on other individuals. And also, when you look at the homegrown quartet of the squad, it's absolutely shocking. It's the worst part of the squad, and things won't change until that is changed. And it's the hardest team to change, because every player you go for that qualifies is going to cost you at least 50 million because of the homegrown tax. Everyone knows why you're buying them. So, look, the only other way around that is by getting some of these youngsters through and filling it out that way. Maybe that is the plan, but let's wait and see. Look, I will say Donnelly has gotten a few minutes here now, which is absolutely great to see. Hopefully Dorrington and Phillips do get an opportunity. I'd love it. Look, if it comes in the cup, I'd absolutely love it. I think they should. I think they deserve it, to be honest. Go on, Tron.
I'm just saying, look, with the Champions League being expanded next season as well, and more games in Europe, the League Cup may be the game where Tottenham may start using a youngsters. You need a squad around about 40 players, I think. If you've got an 11 for your Premier League, you're 11 for your League Cup, you're 11 for whatever, and then whatever squad you got for the Champions League. You need a big squad now. These games are getting more and more, as you rightly say. The Champions League it's trebled in games now for next season because it's a league basis, and then you've got more. If you don't go through, you've got to go through another qualification to get into the round of 16. So it's so important that we have the right squad for every tournament that we're in. This is where the kids come in. I think start the kids in the League Cup. That's what they should have done earlier this season. The kids will give you all they got. The kids will never let you down. They may make mistakes. We learn by mistakes. But this is when big teams, you look at United under Fergie. How many kids did he bring in? And how successful were they with kids? It works. We're saying at the time, I heard Alan Hansen said a match of the day, you'll never win anything with kids. What did United do at the end of the season? Won a trophy with kids. So it does work. So Ange will know when it's the right time for these kids. He isn't stupid. He's quite spot on. He'll know when it's the right time to put these kids in. But we have exciting youngsters coming through. I'm so excited for the youngsters that are going to come through, Dave. Really excited.
Can't wait for Mikey Moore to come through as soon as well. He's
been outstanding. He really has been outstanding. And I thought Dorrington's been brilliant for the under-21s as well. The under-21s, the under-18s have been fantastic this season. I'm so excited about the youngsters that are going to come through our academies.
Big up, Davey, my man. Really appreciate the support, lad. He says there's 4 Daves on the street. See, that's what I'm talking about, Davey. We're everywhere. Do you know what it is?
On the street growing up as well. I couldn't even imagine that. That really is a Dave 1, Dave 2, Dave 3, Dave 4 situation. I mean, you just gotta let me know which Dave number you were, because you got 4 on the same street. That's insane.
Because in my year in school, there was quite a few as well, actually. You know, there's we're everywhere. Everyone wants to be Dave because Dave bet Goliath. You know, Dave's capable of amazing things. So that's why everyone wants to be Dave.
So when Dave got in trouble at school, he said it was Dave's fault. He just pointed to somebody else. Is that it, Dave? Is that how you got away with it? Is that the secret?
No, I didn't get away with anything. Anytime something did happen, I was first one blamed. I was a little terrier in school. But I've copped on since then. And I would say to any kid out there, do cop on and get your education. You know, it's very important later on in life. So don't do what I done. Keith Edwards says, out of the centre-backs, who is most likely? Look, we're going to get on to that now, Keith, actually, my man. So big up. Look, Jack, first of all, I actually want to start with this. So there's been a lot made about Romero this season. Romero's out for 4 to 5 weeks with a hamstring injury, as we know. But look, like I said, there's been a lot made about him this season and how costly he's been to Tottenham, with some even suggestion we should cash in on him and buy someone else. So I want to know from the panel, what's your thoughts, and people out there, get your thoughts in the chat on what impact Romero's injury will have on Tottenham for the next 4 to 5 weeks. And Jack, we'll start with you on this one.
I love Romero. Anytime we're without Romero, there's a greater chance of us dropping points. There's a greater chance of us losing. There's a greater chance of us conceding. I think he is, in fact, one of the most feared defenders in this league, even when he's not, let's say, having his best game. I don't think there's even, many strikers that would like to go head to head with that guy, because he is an intimidating man. And he also has such aggression to his game that he does sort of psych players out. But he has been terrific for us, I think, this season. And I understand how maybe he, could be a little less rash, and he does miss a lot of games and everything. But still, I do think we are a far, far, far better team with Romero in the team than we are with Romero out. And to be, I'm going to try to be respectful here, but just sort of to maybe convey, as best I can, how I feel about the Romero selling sort of conversation. I genuinely roll my eyes and just sort of get let out a gasp, every time when I see it on Twitter or anything, when it comes to sort of selling Romero or entertaining, even some people are sort of celebrating, his sort of injuries, saying, oh, finally, we could be without that guy again. It's just sad, really, to be honest. I think he is sort of a very much, kind of, I don't know, he's a conflicting, sort of or divisive player, but I just think he's such a brilliant defender, so good in possession. No one even talks about how good he is in possession. I think he is almost unpressable because he is so good at picking out passes to break down the opposition. And I love having him in the team. I'm really sad when we don't have him in the team, because I think there's a greater chance of us losing with him outside, with him out of the team. But to be honest, Dave, I think for the center backs today, and Keith, it's going to be Emerson and Ben Davies. No Dorrington. Sorry about that, David Shire. I don't see it happening today. I think it is going to be Emerson and Ben Davies. It worked out okay against Man City. I think we'll see how it goes again today. But I think he'll go with what he knows. And also Emerson is sort of like what Richie is to Ange. I think Dave sort of brought that up, that Emerson seems to be a player that Ange actually likes or leans upon when need be. And he clearly trusts him. So it is going to be Emerson and Davies today. But in general, when it comes to selling Romero or all this sort of conversations, about Romero and whether he's good enough for Spurs, all that sort of stuff, I'll be honest, trying to be respectful here, but I genuinely do just roll my eyes, every time. It's just not a conversation that I really want to entertain whatsoever.
Well, I mean, let's have the conversation. We've got 5 centre-backs in at the club. Then we can have that conversation. But right now, it's just absolutely ludicrous. Look, I do have more to say on the situation, but we'll let down to you, Tron. What's your thoughts on the impact that the Romero's injury might have on this team? And how do you want to see start at centre-back today? Do you agree with Jack that it should be Emerson and Ben Davies?
I think it's got to be Emerson and Ben Davies. It can't go in. I would love to see Dorrington and Phillips in, but Phillips is coming back from an injury, remember, so you don't want to rush him back. Definitely Dorrington, yeah, but no. I can't see nothing than Emerson and Davies. Look, on Romero, he's going to be a big miss. He's the rock. He's the man. He's the man mountain in our defense. And all these people are saying that Romero is, he's undisciplined. He's a liability. He lets us down. Well, hang on a minute. What about Basuma? He's got twice sent off, one for diving, and the other one when he just lost his head completely. We've missed him. We're going to miss him now for at least 6 weeks. Romero's on the touchline when he's injured or suspended. They're gearing up the team. Jackie's right. On the ball, he's amazing. Messi called him world-class. He's our world-class defender. Why are we want to sell our world-class defenders? So if you want to sell him, so you want Eric Dyer back in the side then. Let's go back to that. That would work, didn't it? That was a great success. Eric Dyer, the fantastic defender, biggest load of bullshit I've ever heard in my life. He's an idiot. But Romero, for me, is world-class. We need to keep him. Do whatever he can. But he's going to be a big miss tonight. But Emerson will do a job for you. Emerson will come in there and he will do his best. And that's all we can ask for. That's all we can ask for is for Emerson and Davis to play well. Davis has been playing well, Dave, for the last 3 games. He has backed up performances.
Disagree completely. Disagree.
I don't.
Last week he was absolutely shit. Shocking.
Yeah, well, look, it's either him or Dyer. So I'd rather have Davis than Dyer in the side, to be honest with you. So it's you sort of think, who do I pick? Who's dumber or dumber? And I'd rather pick dumb because dumber is worse. So look, you played with the hand you dealt with, so you've got to go with it. But for me, Romero is going to be a big miss. But look, I'm still confident we're going to win tonight. But look, it's going to be behind the couch time at some of the game. But look, I agree with you. Davis and Dyer are useless. I think you're going to keep one or the other. You keep Davis, I think, as a squad, as an emergency. But QT is a big miss. But look, he's in Mia's dungeon. He's been fed red meat, and he's quite happy there. So bless him.
Look, when it comes to Romero, we lost all 3 games when he was out after his red card against Chelsea. We also lost the second half against Everton when he came off. And it was also one of the worst halves of football we've played all season long. So that there alone should show you the impact that Romero has on this football team in terms of being proactive defensively. What we didn't see when Romero was on the pitch was a defender backing all the way back into the 6-yard box and saying to Danjuma, have a shot on our goal. Very reminiscent of last year. So let's just calm down and talk about Romero, because it's only when he's missing, everyone speaks about how important he is. But when he's playing, everyone speaks about how much of a liability he is. So which one is it? He's a liability or he's very important? For me, I'm going with very important because I've seen the shit that we've had over the last 4 years. So for me, I'm going down the very important route with Romero and what he adds. Simple on that. Not going to dive in any more on that because I actually feel like I'm doing Romero just disjustice if I dive into it any further, to be brutally honest with you.
Like
I'm just not going to do it. In terms of who do I want to see at centre-back, I think everyone needs to calm down. I think everyone's initial reaction was it's going to be Moon Boots, Eric Dyer back in there. I'm sorry, but after that display last week against Everton, he will not be anywhere back near the team. Also, he was only brought on because Emerson was already being deployed at left-back. Now that Adoji's back in the side today, you'll see Emerson shift in there and it'll be the exact same back line that took the field against Man City. And look, like Jack alluded to earlier, it's going to be difficult to progress the ball on a regular basis, the way we do when we have a Romero or Van de Ven back there. But Emerson is defensively solid. And he's another one I don't think gets enough praise. He took so much shit and stick off this fan base for quite some time. Did he react, moan, leak stuff to the press? No, he didn't. He said, okay, I'm going to spend my money and on myself, invest in myself to make me be better, when invested in on a life coach just to tell him to go to bed a bit earlier, this, that, and the other. Absolute amazing improvements that he's made to his own game, using his big wages to invest in himself, which I absolutely love. But what's not spoken about is a lot of people are praising Ben Davies for filling in that left-sided centre-back, saying he's not a centre-back, but he's filling in there. Disagree. He's played there for Wales for quite some time and played at centre-back for us last season. So he does know how to play there. But he's made more defensive mistakes that have led to goals this season than someone like Emerson, who's been the sort of the dog man, playing at left, right, and centre back, and he hasn't made any mistakes that have led to a goal this season. Why doesn't he get that praise? A lot of people say to me, "Oh, Davies is a good squad player." Okay, if you want to take him off the Newcastle and Forest game, what about the Everton game where we reverted to type? What about the Aston Villa game, the Wolves game, the City second goal, the 2 games that he played at left back where he had to be covered by Van de Ven? So we use recency bias when it comes to Ben Davies, but Emerson doesn't get any praise. Why? He's been a better squad player than what Davies is. And if I want squad players around, I want them to be like Emerson, who can fill in everywhere. For too many down the last couple of years, well, they can't do this and they can't do that. Okay, if you can't do it, fuck off. Simple as. I'm not doing this anymore. Oh, well, he doesn't play here and he plays here. And I don't care what you like to do. You're here at Tottenham. You do what we want you to do. And the least I expect is someone to put it in while they're out there. And Emerson does that. So for me, I definitely think he warrants a start. When it comes to Ben Davies, I think he will be rolled out there again, personally. I just hope he's a lot better, And the thing is, we've seen good performances in the guy, Newcastle and Forest. But we've also seen more bad performances than we have good performances. So what one are we going to get from him? With Ben Davies, I think he's going to be here to the end of the season, so I'm not going to cry and moan about that. However, he's got a lot more convincing for me for him to warrant staying around here and beyond the summer on 80k a week. I'm sorry. That's just where I'm at with Ben Davies. That's it on the centre-back situation for me.
Very quickly, Dave, on the centre-backs. Yeah, on the centre-back. Look, I agree with you with Davies as well and Dyer. Look, This is coming to bite us on the arse. If we're going to be honest about it, we should have dealt with this a long time ago, and we keep putting it off, kicking the can down the road, and we're now looking at a fullback to play centre back's role, where we should have done it 3 or 4 years ago. Brought centre backs in to cover this situation. Look, Davis and Dyer are not good defenders at all. We all know that. They're not the defenders to take us to titles, to cups. So they will be gone. So it's now time to get rid of this deadwood. Davis will start tonight. I just pray to God he has a good game. That's all I want. As Jim did play good for us, but look, it is what it is.
Okay, so the lineup will be out in about
a minute.
1 minute time. So just before we do, we'll get into that sort of CDM role before Jack brings it up. Look, will it be Skip? Will it be Lascelles? So I think Hojbjerg will be taken out of the situation because he wants out of here. Dermo, just quickly, who do you want to see in that CDM role?
I'm going for Hojbjerg. I have to. I don't think Skip was good enough the other day, and I think Hojbjerg should have started. But look, if Hojbjerg is going in January, then it'll probably be Skip. But I want Hojbjerg in that CDM role for me. That's my
interesting to see what happens. Jacko, just quickly, who do you want to see? And then we'll take a few chats and bring up the lineup.
Prefer Hojbjerg there, but I'm going to be realistic. I think he's out of here, sadly, and it's going to be Skip. And I guess everybody who thinks that he's been needing this run of form or this run of games to show what he's really worth, here's his chance. I don't really much rate him. I don't think he's going to really show us that he is good enough for Spurs, but love to be proven wrong. And we'll see. But it is going to be Skip today at the number 6, even though I'd prefer Hojbjerg.
No. Yeah, look, I sort of agree with that, so I won't expend any more on that. Catman Jess, member for 28 months. Big up, David, Jack, and Dermot. 3-1 Spurs win. Come on, you Spurs. Big up, my man. Really do appreciate the absolute outstanding service. Really do appreciate that, Catman Jess, and hopefully you are keeping well, sir. And we're all absolutely pumped for this game for sure, my man. We're all pumped. 3-1, I'd absolutely snap your hand off for it now. Big up, brother. Really appreciate the support. David Shire says, mob of flip floppers, Dave. Who's the flip floppers? It ain't me, my man. I'm consistent.
No,
with my
mate.
phrase.
I think he's talking about, Romero. Yeah, where it just comes to people just go back and forth, on the Romero situation, where like one day, he's they're praising him, and then the next, day they're not. But I don't know. With Romero, it's just the last person on earth, David Shire. Like, I feel like we should be as Spurs fans, like, painting, some sort of narrative about or anything. Like, he genuinely has been the best defender I have seen at Spurs since Toby and Jan. He's the best defender we've had at Spurs since Toby and Jan. So I just don't really see what the point is about having conversations about whether he's good enough or not. He clearly is better than what we have. He clearly has been very good for us when he has been fit and when he has been available. He's somebody that I would love to have in the team. I don't think it's just, but there is a bit of flip-flopping occasionally on the Romero situation. I know what you're talking about.
I think that's when I said, when he's not in the team, everyone talks about how badly we need him. When he's in the team, we talk about how much of a liability he is. I absolutely agree, Davy Shire. Look, until we get 5 centre-backs in at this club, I'm not even entertaining the conversation around Romero being sold from this football club. Not even going to entertain it. You will not hear it come out my mouth until we have 5 centre-backs here that I trust, that I believe are quality, so that we can have that conversation. Somehow, I still think Romero will end up top of the pile regardless. But big up, David Shire. Really appreciate the support, brother, and I'm glad you sort of had to listen to what I had to say on that. Big yourself up, my man. And he also follows up, makes a great point just there quickly, where he says Romero was out the door until Ange was appointed, which is a fair point with that bust-up he had with Antonio Conte, which is a very fair point, my man. Spot on. And then Moondog says, good evening, lads. Big up, Moondog. Let me know what bet you've got on today. It was the first goal scorer. What I will say, when Moondog puts it in, I think he's got, the last 4 out of the last 5 or something like that. So I'll be sprinting down to the bookies if I was you. But look, big up, Moondog. Good to see you in, and hopefully you had a great Christmas, sir. My man. But look, Jack, let's waste no more time. Let's get up the lineups. Everyone's excited to see what the team is. So let's have a look. Let's run through it. And so we've got Benin Vicario in goals, Pedro Porro at right back, Royale and Davies as predicted at centre back, with Destiny Edoji in at left back. Interesting decision by Ange Postecoglou with Hojbjerg coming in playing that deeper role. Really didn't see that happening today, with Papa Matasar and Kulusevski forming the rest of that midfield. Johnson on the right, Son on the left, and Richarlison through the middle. On the bench, we have Fraser Forrester. I'm not saying that next name, it's cursed. Dorrington, Phillips, Lascelles. So Santiago brought up today. Interested to see if he gets
Wow.
an opportunity off the bench. He's one of them players for the under-21s. He does it in spurts.
Yeah.
Looks really promising, but then fades out of games very easily as well. Brian Hill, Jamie Donnelly, and Valise. So very, very interesting. No
Young
Dane
lineup.
Scarlett there, despite being recalled. Jack, what's the thinking behind Hojbjerg coming in? None of us thought this would happen because Sydney's out the door.
Huge surprise for me.
And no Skip on the bench.
Yeah, that's a bit odd. He must be injured. Maybe that is the reasoning. Maybe he must be injured. The reason why I find that a surprise is because I think Hojbjerg is sadly out of here. I think he wants regular game time. He doesn't want to sort of, be battling it out for the number 6 position with 3-4 other players. He thinks that it should be his. I can understand that, but he already has healthy competition there. So I think Hojbjerg's out of here. Maybe just because Skip is injured or something up there. Also, maybe it's a farewell. Could be also, maybe if this could be Hojbjerg's last game, potentially. I'm not sure. It could be. So there's something maybe to that as well, that if this is maybe one of Hojbjerg's last games, I think he's been a decent enough servant for us that maybe he deserves kind of, a little send-off or a little farewell. Be surprised if it were this case, kind of away from home. But still, Dave, I mean, that's the only reason I can come up with. Maybe a bit of a farewell to Hojbjerg, but also Skip must be injured.
No, look, I think he must be out injured, Jack, if he ain't there. Well, we weren't told about before the game anyway, so it'll be interesting to see what the situation is there. But look, with Hojbjerg coming in, I get this sort of chat around the creativity, but from the deeper position, it is what he's good at, progressing that ball. So hopefully we see a brave Hojbjerg and take that opportunity. It's clear that Ange fancies him over someone like Lascelles, so that Hojbjerg's ahead in the pecking order, which is interesting in that regard. I thought with Hojbjerg being out the door, Lascelles might have crept in there, but not to be. So interesting choice on that. Dermo, are you happy to see Hojbjerg in there instead of Skip?
As you can see, I've got my main man, the Danish destroyer, there. I did say to you he'd be in. I did it in my own predicted lineup. He was going to start. I just thought, look, Skip wasn't very good for the last game. I think Hojbjerg is a better player. I agree with Jack, though. I think this might be a farewell game for him. I'm really sad he's leaving because I love Hojbjerg, but I think this is his last game. But look, I think it's a good front line. It's a good midfield, and it's a good team, actually. I love the lineup, and I love the bench as well. We've got Santiago, Lascelles, Phillips, Hill, Donnelly, Velez, a young lineup as well. Full of hunger, full of fight, full of 3 points, and they're after seagull pie. That's what they want. And she's promised them a bit of seagull pie and a bit of vegetables after the game, so that's what they're going for. This team will win. The only thing I'm not sure of, Dave, is the kit. I cannot stand the third kit. I think it's horrible.
I only said there a couple of weeks ago, it's growing on me. The more I see it, the more I like it, and I think I might have to become a member of that third kit society. Definitely going to become a member of the away kit society for sure. Get my membership card for that. But I might have to become a member of the third away kit. I was with you at the start of the season. I absolutely hated it. But the more I see it, the more it is growing on me. I think that's probably the intention behind the design because it's a pretty bland color. But yeah, we seem to win in it, which is also good. Look, with Hojbjerg, let's wait and see what he does. The bench is very young, I will say that, but there's a good opportunity there maybe for a couple of academy products to get their nose in the door today. I've just had a quick look at the Brighton lineup. That's absolutely not great at all. Stealing goals, Igor, Dunk. I presume it's going to be Van Heckel and maybe either Milner or Hinselwood at fullback. Gilmore, Gross, Bonanante, Welbeck in there as well. So not the strongest of lineups from Brighton with young Evan Ferguson on the bench along with Estupinan. So they are there for the taking. The seagulls are there to be clipped. We're the guys with the BB guns. Let's make sure we've got the best aim down on the south coast this evening, and let's clip the seagulls. Interesting lineup for Ange, but look, that's it from myself and Jack. We will be back here at 7 p.m. With the watch along in about 20 minutes time. Might be a little bit later because we've done this a little bit later. Just because we need to get it set up and stuff. That does take a small bit of time, so maybe about 5 minutes late, depending. But look, before we go, Darmo, absolutely really appreciate you coming on again today. You're absolutely smashing these out of the park, my man. Doing great big happy Gilmores on the balls that we tee up. Where can people find you, lad?
Yet when I'm listening to your questions, I'm not missing them. That's I never let that down.
You didn't get card today, so that's a good sign.
That is a very good sign. I had a very disciplined game today. Ange said I had to be disciplined, so it had to be disciplined. Yeah, if you want to come over, THSC till I die, your home of the Premier League watch-alongs, as we've been doing all Christmas. We've been bringing you all the games. Me and Philip are there. We've got the Transfer Rumour show tomorrow, the start of that of transfer window. Of course, we've got the watch-along tonight. We are the second best watch-along behind Dave and Jack's and the Irish Hotspur. We are number 2. But tonight also, I think it's the first time on YouTube that this has happened. We're actually showing 2 games on the channel simultaneously. We're doing the Arsenal-West Ham game as well as the Brighton-Tottenham game as well. Bobby and the gang over the Full-Time Sports Network. So we've got 2 games on the channel. So take your pick. What do you want to watch? Just watch me first and then watch Barney the Dinosaur, the dump on the Gunners, and then we should be happy with that. We've got the last Cockle Cock podcast of the year on Saturday. And then, of course, the big match against Bournemouth on Sunday. And then we all kick off, of course, with the transfer window shows. They're back. The FA Cup Saturday. We've got Premier League Saturday coming up. We've got loads of stuff coming up on the channel. Loads of new stuff as well. So, look, we're still on the march to 2K. Please, I want to get there for my birthday. It's on the 5th of February. I want to hit 2K before my birthday. So, please help us along the way. But please hit here as well. Like and subscribe here, the guys as well. The mothership of my channel. Always have, always will be. Let's get ready to rumble.
Appreciate that, my man. Everybody, please do get out there and check out THFC Till I Die. He's just short of telling us what the summer schedule is. Absolutely love that, Dermo. I like an organised man, though, a guy that plans. I wish I could be a bit more like that. But big up, Dermo. People,
I'm not really planned, Dave. I just do everything off. I'm like you. I follow the Dave Harris way of doing things. You're the master. You're Yoda. I'm just the young Luke Skywalker following my way.
I'm not, lad. I'm the definition of fake it till you make it. But look,
no, you're Yoda, and Jack is Jack's the elder Star Wars Jedi. You're both Jedi masters, and I'm just a young apprentice finding my way.
I've told you before, Star Wars is shit, man. It's absolutely crap.
I know. I would agree with you. I would agree with you. Marvel all the way, but look. You don't watch Marvel, so there you go.
No, I don't like that either. I'm a bit miserable like that. I just like watching sports. Big up Corey as well. Welcome back to the memberships, my man. And good to see you. Hopefully we see you on a couple of fan shows. Really appreciate it, brother. And hopefully you are keeping well as well. But look, everybody, we are going to end off. We will be back for the watch along. I just want to say a massive thank you to Wembley 1, DJ Samuel, Ian DJ, Detron as well, Jason, Martin, Bob Down Under, Jack giving away one as well. Dermo going again. Shire going again. Jason Bell as well, gifting out 5. One from myself and the missus as well. Dragging these nuts. Welsh Gal, Al Ben, Malware, Dave, DJ Samuel with the huge one as well. Absolute legend. Joshua, Mark P, Mr. Shire, Edwards, Mr. Edwards. Good to see you, Keith. Catman Jess, Mr. Shire again, Moondog, and Corey Boy. So, guys, really appreciate all the support. Absolutely really means a lot. I know it's not easy this time of year, so really do appreciate it all. Guys, we're going to take a break for a quick 20, 25 minutes or that. We will see you back for the watch long. Please get back here. Join us for the good vibes because we are going to be eating seagull tonight. Come on, you Spurs. In the mighty Ange Postecoglou, we trust. We never stop. I'm just going to quickly, before we end up, I'm just going to throw the watch along link in there. So if you guys want to sort of get in there nice and early, you can and wait for us. So I'm just going to share it. Give me 1 second, copy, and then paste it in. So guys, this is the link for the watch along. We'll see you in about 20 minutes time or so. Have a good evening, and come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. See you all later for the Seagull barbecue. Big up, everybody.
And roll out.